What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, the home of the #1 Miami fan morning show, CLOCKBLOCKERS. What is up? I'm still in New York. I'm still here. I leave as soon as the show's over. I'm getting in the car and driving back down home. What is going on? How y'all doing? Rough day yesterday. Kind of. That was a rough day. We'll get into all to it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am Stephen D. You can follow me at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. It is Therapy Monday. Unfortunately, it is not Victory Monday here on CLOCKBLOCKERS, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show. We got a lot to go into. I got to do the rundown. So allow me to do the rundown. And once we get in the rundown, I'm going to bring in a couple people to talk about the game yesterday, and then I'll bring in you all. Y'all can say whatever y'all need to say. Get it off your chest. Let the people know. Because I know it's important. I know it's important. All right. I already said you can follow me at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. You can also follow Miami Sports Music there at Miami Sports Music at MIA Sports Music. I'm trying to read like people and what they're sending. Who do we got in here this morning? What's going on? I got everybody in here this morning. I got all the regs in here this morning. Guys, hit the like button. Let people know that we're here. Share and subscribe. Guys, 9,500 subscribers today. 9,500 subscribers today. We're 500 subscribers away from goal. Yes, sir. Super excited about that. Super excited about that. 9,500 subscribers. 500 from 10,000. 500 from 10,000. So let's keep doing what we're doing. Hey, look, if you also you want to sign up and become a member today, become part of the family. I'd love to see a couple new people sign up, become part of the family today. We are a family, and that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be very, very, very interesting to see. So yeah, I think there's emotions all over the board. We're going to get to that here in a second. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? I'm trying to read through tweets and text, and I got my phone here. My phone's blowing up, and people are still hitting me up. Help the channel grow by donating. Yeah, donate to the channel. Help it grow. You guys can use the YouTube live super chat, which is the $ at the bottom of the chat, where you guys can use Cash App or PayPal. Sorry. Cash App is $MSM Podcast Network. You can use the QR code right on your screen, or you can use PayPal, which is also MSM Podcast Network, and you can use the QR code right on your screen. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports. ZSM Sports, the #1 place to get your cards, jerseys, balls, and hard to find items. They have a lot of awesome, amazing autograph signings coming up. If you want to know all about them, please go see them on Facebook /ZSM-sports or on Instagram at SportsZSM. Zachary there's got a lot of great signings coming up. You should go see what he's got. And if you need some stuff, for the fan cave, I would do it, especially if you're an all-around Miami fan. He's got basketball, football, baseball, you name it. Zachary does it, and he's the man. So he's awesome, man. Let's see here, man. What else? We got Hangry Owls. Shout out to Hangry Owls. Good food, good mood. Hangry Owls, 305-279-5332, 16606 Sheridan Street. Also, hey, look, Little Vasasaur, born and raised. Are you born and raised as a Dolphins fan? Well, this beer is a Dolphins fan. That's right. I said a beer is a Dolphins fan. Vasasaur Brewing Company. Vasasaur. a beer created for the fans, by the fans, the official beer of Clock Blockers. Make sure you get some Vasasor today. We love them. They're amazing. We're going to have some next week at the Tailgate. It's going to be good times. It's going to be good times. So make sure you all do that. A great place to sit.com. Make sure you guys go check out a great place to sit.com. You need tickets to any game, concert, or event. A great place to sit.com is the place to go. Give them a call at 954-989-7979. Do you want to know how awesome they are? I actually used them yesterday because the reason that I stayed in New York and did not go home is I ended up going to the Mets game afterwards. I did an NFL football game and a Major League Baseball game all on the same day. And the New York team I wanted to lose didn't lose. And the New York team I wanted to win didn't win. So I was just rooting for the Mets for Buck, and they were home. But I did go to the baseball game last night. I went with my man Cam, my brother from another mother. Love that guy. We had a great time. Yeah. So we used a great place to sit.com to get our tickets. You should too. Greatplacetosit.com. And then last but not least, Tail Greeter. Absolutely love Tail Greeter. You guys want to go to the most awesome tailgates? Well, the next 2 weeks, we're going to have some pretty lit LIT tailgates. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins, the all-you-can-eat tailgate. And it's fan club weekend. Let me tell you, this is one of the biggest weekends of the year for Dolphins fans. Yeah, I'm just saying it's gonna be good stuff. Okay, so make sure you guys check it out. The link is in the chat below. You guys can use that. Make sure you guys go get your tickets for the fan club weekend. It's gonna be good times. Fans from all over the world are coming. All right, man. It is Therapy Monday. We're gonna talk a little bit about everything, just real quick. So I am staying at the Meadowlands Hotel tonight or today, last night, whatever you want to call it. And so I set up a second camera just to show you my view this morning because it's pretty dope. Didn't know that this was the case. I found the same hotel that everybody was on. And so I just wanted to share this to you because I think it's awesome. So this is the view that I have. That's the view. I'm overlooking New York City. So I set up a second camera just for y'all to see that because it's pretty awesome, man. So big shout out to the hotel here at the Meadowlands. It's right across the street from the stadium on the other side, and then this side overlooks New York City. You can literally see the entire New York City skyline. It's pretty dope. So it was an awesome way to wake up this morning. It was kind of surreal, actually. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you because life is bigger than football. Y'all don't know this, although today's not going to be that day to say that because everybody is. It's gonna be crazy. So let me kind of just tell you how I feel from yesterday. First of all, just to start off, Dolphins NYC were absolutely amazing. I mean, they were. New York, the Saturday night meet and greet at Slattery's was awesome. If you guys didn't get a chance to see it, it is it was fun. I wish you guys were there. And if you guys missed it, you guys can go back and take a look at everything at Miami Sports Music on YouTube because we were live from there. Go see the live stream. It was fun. So make sure you guys check that out. What else? And then, yesterday at the tailgate was pretty awesome too, right? The tailgate yesterday was awesome from the standpoint of, Dolphins NYC had this entire setup there. DJ Sick Turtle was there on the 1s and 2s. I thought the day was going to turn out to be a great day. There was 1,400 fans, 1,400 Miami Dolphin fans all in this little part. Nat Moore showed up. It was awesome. Dougley Do-Wrong was there. Shout out to Dougley. We got to hang out and talk for a little bit. I tried to do the pregame show from there. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the internet gets worse I use a mobile hotspot to do a lot of my shows when I'm on the road. And I've never really had any major issues with them. I've had, some small ones here and there, but nothing what I had yesterday. I just couldn't get anything. And was using other people's mobiles hotspots, and they were like, yo, this is bad. So the Jets just have a crappy, besides a crappy team and crappy colors and just everything about their team just being crappy, they have crappy internet there. So I apologize for the pregame show yesterday. It was it sucked. But you live and you learn. And yeah, otherwise, man. G says that Alex Cricket mobile ain't good, ain't what's going. No, it was bad yesterday. So I apologize to the people that were trying to have the good time, man. We were trying to make it work, man. It was just rough. It was rough. So we couldn't get it. So and so we go into the stadium, and I'm sitting section 108, row 2, which is pretty much row 1. I'm sitting with my boy Eric Carrier, Dolph Freaky, and her husband Jared. Matter of fact, let me see if I can show you because I did get some pretty cool touchdowns. I wonder if they'll flag me for showing that video, even though it's my video on the phone of the touchdown. That'd be very interesting to see. I don't know. It's not reloading. It won't let me show it. Okay, I can't figure out how to do it because I'm on one computer screen. I don't have multiple computer screens. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'll put them up there after my trip. I'll probably put them on tonight, maybe tomorrow. So follow me at Stephen D SKP. I'll put it all up there. Or you can follow me on Facebook, Stephen D Daniels. I had a great time, man. As far as like getting into it. It took me forever to get into the stadium because I had to shut everything down as one of the last people at the tailgate. As kickoff's going on, the line is backed up all the way to where the cars are to get into the stadium. It was stupid. I'll tell you what, going to a lot of games and going to games in Miami, you start appreciating little things. And I can tell you, like, getting in to an NFL football game, you would think that they would be more efficient at MetLife Stadium, considering they have 2 NFL teams, and they're pretty much doing a game every weekend. Nope, not efficient, not at all. So it was just a cluster, you know what. So we get into the game, and I missed the Teddy Bridgewater. I saw it on the screen as I'm walking in. Like, there's a big screen at MetLife Stadium, and I saw it. So I saw him get the safety, and I didn't know he was out of the game. I didn't think it looked that bad from, again, I'm half paying attention, trying to go in. Everybody's talking. I finally get to my seat with like 8 minutes left in the first quarter, and they're like, yeah, Teddy's out of the game. Skylar's in. Man. Okay. So here's my initial thoughts of Teddy. Okay. My initial thoughts of Teddy. Okay. Matter of fact, let me pull this up for people that don't know. Stats yesterday. Skylar Thompson was 19 of 33, 166 yards, and no touchdowns and an interception. I want to say Tyreek had one big one reception, and Gesicki had a 30-yard reception. So 60 of the 166 yards came off 2 catches, if I'm correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong in that. And so he is exactly what I thought he was. And what I thought he was is a 7th round rookie quarterback with not a lot of experience. And what we saw in the preseason was him going against 3rd and 4th stringers. And the hype of Skylar to the fan base was the unknown, because we knew what Teddy can and cannot do. Like, we get what Teddy's ceiling is. I talked about this yesterday with Cameron while we were on the trip to Citi Field for the Mets game last night. And here's what I'll say. To me, I know we're 3-2 and we're 6 in the AFC, and we're there's kind of an easier pill to swallow from the standpoint of, hey, look, the Dolphins started out 3-0, so by them having this cushion per se, you're able to like deal with these losses a little bit better. I never deal with losses great, so I don't know if that's a very accurate statement, but we have a cushion. The reality is we do have a cushion that we can make some mistakes here and still win some football games in the next couple of weeks and see where we're at. Now, what I thought was very interesting, and I'm going to go back and forth on a lot of different things here, is Teddy Bridgewater was taken out of the game, passed all of his concussion protocols, and if we had have been in last week's rules, he would have been back in the game. Very interested to see what would have happened in a game like that. So now we're taking out guys because the NFL is overcompensating, which I said that they would. I said the NFL would overcompensate for, everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks with Tua and the concussions, and they're just gonna go crazy. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't been able to look up the numbers, but I'm interested to know how many people in the NFL yesterday went out with a concussion protocol and stayed out of the game. I would be very interested to see that compared to the prior 2 weeks before or the prior week before. And I'm sure that it's a night and day difference. Night and day difference. To go back to the Skylar Thompson thing, I just want to finish off a few things before I bring in my first guest of the day. I think, there's a theory of if Skylar had a week of playing with the ones, he would have been better situated to attack this game. That is a theory. That is a very, I don't know if I guess it's a valid theory. I think he is who he is. He's a 7th round rookie quarterback. And to me, he didn't play well enough at all in any way, shape, or form. And that's not his fault. He's a 7th round rookie quarterback who doesn't have a lot of experience anywhere and doesn't get a lot of practice time, which again is true. But to sit here and say that he would be better served to be the leader of this team or run this team or make a playoff run with this team, to me, I think that's a very false statement. And I know there's some people in the chat that disagree with me with that, and I'll let you guys come on later today, but I don't see it personally. The other thing I want to say is how we feel as fans, right? Like, one of the things I was trying to tell Cam is I feel this is the same, like just typical Dolphins. I don't feel that this is the same old Dolphins, right? We had a great offseason. The hype was real. Our team definitely is got the pieces to win, right? Definitely got the pieces to win. But when you're on Thursday night, when your backup quarterback comes into the game and you give up 13 points in the fourth quarter, and yesterday it's a very close game, 19-17. We go to kick a 53 or 54-yard field goal. We miss it. They go down, and they end up scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter. We have let, 5 touchdowns, essentially, go in the fourth quarter over the last 2 games. And you are not, I repeat, you are not going to win football games by allowing what's going on. All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. It's that New York internet. It's that New York internet. Speaking of New York, speaking of internet, because I want to go back and forth with somebody here. Let me bring in my brother from another mother. Love this guy. He was here this weekend with me, hanging out. Came on a couple times during the streams. Knows all about New York internet. Mr. Jason Sarney. What's up, Jason?
How you doing, Steven? Good morning to you.
Oh my goodness. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think there's a lot of the fan base that, first of all, let me say I had a great weekend this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed myself, and I tell people all the time, when it comes to the team, to, hang out with the fans, do fan events and support that. But you end up leaving the weekend even after a loss saying, man, I know it sucks that we lost and I hate it, but I do like hanging out with people, and that's always a win. But it was good to see you this weekend. I enjoyed it.
I always love seeing you. You said that very, very well. It's great seeing people that you know. It's great seeing people who you know, and they introduce you. for the first time. That's always fun to kind of, branch out, spread the web of this Fin Nation. Yeah. And even, some people in the chat, Trucker Sean, my dude, tapped me on the shoulder. It was great to meet him. So really was an awesome weekend meeting so many people, especially always hanging with you.
Yeah, so
wanted to win though, but
I mean, look, here's I was starting to kind of talk about this, and I want to talk about it with you. So I was explaining to Cam on the ride to the Mets game that I feel like this Dolphins team organization, don't get me wrong, we made moves that we've never made in the offseason. I think our team is the most talented it's probably been in the last 25 years. But to me, yesterday after losing felt like this is just typical Dolphins. We get hyped up, and we hype ourselves up as fan base. Don't get it twisted. Like, we do it to ourselves, in my opinion.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right? But we hype ourselves up, and then something happens, the rug's pulled out from under us, whether it be injuries, whether it be whatever, right? Cam, and I'm paraphrasing Cam here, went on to talk about, McDaniel and how he chose on second and whatever for Skylar to throw the ball and when they were having success at the run game. And why are you putting it in Skylar's hands when you have all that success in the run game? And he's like, I'm not sitting here saying that McDaniel's to blame to lose, but it is something he questioned. I don't know if I would have said that personally, but look, there's a lot of theories coming from a lot of different places and a lot of emotions and a lot of how people feel. I think there's some of the fan base that are like, this is ridiculous. Here we go again. We think we're all this and that and a bag of chips, and we realize real quick that we're not. But I think the reality of the situation is you give up, 34 points in the fourth quarter in the last two games, you're going to lose football games, right? And we were good enough to beat Cincinnati, and I thought we were the better team yesterday. The scoreboard might not show that. The 40-17 might not show that. But let's call a spade a spade. They scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. And, I think that's also a direct result of not having your leader and team captain there in the huddle on offense and trying to rally the troops and bring those guys there. And they looked lackluster when it came to the fourth quarter. They just looked spent. And I think that's kind of where we're at. There's a lot of injuries. People are going down. Teron Armstead went down yesterday, again, with the toe injury. I personally said if you got 13 plus games out of him this year, you were in for a good year. But, what we've heard is he can't even put his shoe on without it's, I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And, how do you see this big circus wheel kind of going right now?
I mean, it's easy to push a panic button from what we saw very short term yesterday. But, and on the drive home, which was at times long and traffic getting out of there, I was just thinking to myself, I'm like asking myself questions and then trying to
like. It took us an hour and 45 minutes to get from Meadowlands to Citi Field. And on the way back from Citi Field to the Meadowlands after the game was over, it took us 35 minutes.
Yeah, no, usually that's the math. That's New York City traffic math. That works out.
Oh, my God, it was so frustrating.
Yeah, gave me an opportunity, just no radio, just kind of sitting in my thoughts and like I said, just kind of asking questions internally to myself and saying, I don't know how to answer them. So, when I got home, just dug into the schedule just for the long-term picture. So before breaking down yesterday, I don't want to push the panic button because of how the schedule breaks down coming up. I don't know if you want to look ahead that much, but they got 6 games against teams with 1 or 2 wins. So that's a very nice thing. And they're the 7th seed at the moment in the AFC. So I don't want to go nuts yet.
Let me interrupt. You sat alone, stewed in your thoughts for the entire drive from...
Not entire drive. Once I hit the turnpike and I was free with traffic, that's when I throw on the music and just enjoy the drive. But yeah, a good hour.
But and then when you got home, you're like, all right, I'm not going to think about this anymore. What do we have to look forward to? So you were ready to look forward to the next thing.
Prior to the inevitable rewatch and breakdown and writing of the reaction, which I've been kind of scared to do. So I just wanted to look ahead, just kind of for my own numerical thoughts, And when I'm looking at this schedule, I still see a very capable ability to get to the 11 win mark, which is what you need. And again, they're still the 7th seed. and they have not played a complete game with a complete roster at all. So
I thought they were the 6th seed, but yeah, okay.
6 or 7. You know, they're in it. They're in it the moment. And Tua has proven in his absence what my definition of an MVP is. Maybe not the league MVP, but an MVP is a person who, if you extract from the team, what is the team without that person? And the question's answered. They don't win. When he's starting, they find ways to win, and he's able in big spots to kind of show up a bit more than what we've seen with other quarterbacks. And there have been 3 of them in his tenure, 4 of them, if you want to include Fitzpatrick, that, you know, we've seen. And he is, I believe, the most valuable player on this team, as crazy as that sounds, or as if you want to believe it. Yeah, but again, this team has been without Byron Jones, without, you know, without X. So you have your 2 premier corners who
we were relying on Noah Igbenogany and Cater Kahu.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Cater. I'm not going to say the same thing about Noah, because I still think Noah shouldn't be on the team. Skylar's record is 0-0. Never forget it. 19 is nice. Oh my God, you're killing me, Pete. I'll get to you, Pete. You're gonna get the chance to give your thoughts, buddy. I appreciate the donation. What I think, you know, when looking at it, I agree. I think if Tua's in the Thursday night game, and I think if Tua's in yesterday, the team's mentality is just differently. I think they're just different. And I'm not saying we win the games, but I think we put ourselves in a position to win them. And, you know, because then maybe drives don't stall out, or maybe interceptions don't necessarily happen when they happen on the Thursday night game and yesterday, right? And so now you're looking at that and you're saying to yourself, man, if Tua was in here, would that have happened? You know, would Tua have been able to lead that team down the field and convert it into some points? You know, Sanders hits that field goal yesterday. We go up 1 point. He misses the field goal. They got a short field to work with. They go down, they score. Bam, that kind of took, I'm not saying it killed us right then and there, but it was like, it definitely deflated the team. And then, you know, obviously they couldn't do anything on the you know, turnaround possession. And, you know, they went down and scored again. And you're like, oh, here we go. You know?
Deflating was, you know, it was definitely deflating when Sanders missed the kick. I mean, look, 54-yard kick, should have made it. This is something that he can do. But you know, you gotta make that kick if you're a franchise level kicker with making that money. You know, everyone knows I love Sanders, but yeah, gotta make that kick. It was a tough deflating moment.
I was sitting with Eric Carrier and Dolph Freaky and Jared, Dolph Freaky's husband, and we were sitting there watching. I did not like them going for that field goal, personally.
You know, it's funny. A couple of people on the spaces were like, you know what, Morstead has probably the ability to put him within the 5.
Yep.
You know, he's done that. So do you do that play and try to just replicate a short field and maybe get a 46-yarder? You know, so yeah, that's a valid point. 100%.
I felt that, you know, our defense was playing well enough. It was not the time for, you know, it was, I'm not saying that Sanders can't hit it. He's hit it in the past. Right. And I get, you know, I guess to a certain extent, I understand why McDaniel had faith in Sanders to go do it. But with that being said, I thought it was very long. I wasn't 100% convinced that he could hit it. I said it before he went out. I turned to Eric and I said, they should be punting it right here. And he's like, bro, Sanders has got the leg. He can hit it. I was like, no. I was like, I think they should punt it. And, you know, it was the reality of the situation. He missed it and they have the short field. And that's why. It wasn't that I wasn't okay. You know, it was the consequence of missing that field goal. Right.
Right.
And so that's kind of where that kind of came into play. Now, let me ask you another question, right? Because I see some people in the chat saying you guys aren't talking about the defense. That's fair.
I'm ready to
talk about
that.
It, right?
I'm ready to go.
13 points in the Cincinnati game in the fourth quarter and 21 points in the fourth quarter. You take the first 3 quarters of each game, the defense was holding their own. They were doing enough to win games, but, and there is a big but, they were not, they weren't as, let me say this, Jason, before I thought that this defense would be just straight dominant this year. Right? I thought Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Agba, and who's the other? Melvin Ingram would just get sacks upon sacks upon sacks upon sacks this year. I thought Javon Holland was just going to be this guy that it would be a no-fly zone area. And they played decent, right? They played, I would personally think in those first 3 quarters of each game, they played like a top 15 defense, right? But you get into the fourth quarter of the last 2 games, they have not cut the mustard. Now, with that being said, I also think it's kind of fair. The first game, that Cincinnati game, you lost your starting quarterback. The interception happened, and you're like, we're just working our butts off, and the offense are not able to capitalize on anything, and we're exhausted by the time the fourth quarter comes. Same thing, I think happened yesterday. We keep on, giving you guys opportunities, offense, aka offense, to put us in a position to win. You guys are not capitalizing. What are your thoughts about the defense?
I think some kind of spark is missing. I mean, look, this defense didn't lose anybody. They gained Melvin Ingram. So my question is, and another question that I have, look, you have a guy like a Caterco who is an undrafted rookie. He's ready, but your first pick that you make in the 3rd round, Channing Tindall, is not, and he doesn't play yet. And that's a question.
Surprised about that.
That's a question. So I asked myself, why isn't he playing? Can he be a difference maker? Everyone is talking about the linebackers. So you draft a guy, play him. So that's the first question about the defense. Second question about the defense. And again, we all know without Byron, without X, it takes the whole identity and the formula of the defense out, and you rely on 2 undrafted cornerbacks playing in the NFL starting at CB1, CB2, and Needham has become a slot corner. It's an odd thing because everyone knows that I like to say he started on the outside, was moved to the inside, but Jimmy Crackhorn, he's a heck of a lot better on the inside. He is a slot corner, for better or for worse. So when you have, and here's the question about how I can tie in the defense, and then I'll give you my beef on it.
Okay.
When you have Byron Jones, when you have Xavier Howard, when you have Nick Needham, and then a Javon Holland that we know that we can see, and a Brandon Jones who, by the way, we know he's not terrific in coverage. He is a blitzing defensive back who can make those type of plays. So he's almost like that Rashad Jones-ish. He's a different stop at the coverage. We know that's the weakness of him, So this defense, when complete in the secondary, can make all the other motors churn like your pass rushers. However, and I was remiss to bring this up, and it spaces, but I did. A lot of people know I was very, fond of a certain coach that was part of the defense last year, and he brought a spark to the secondary. Gerald Alexander, he's not here anymore. He wasn't retained. I questioned why. And you know what? Tackling, desire, blitzing, timely, just awesome calls when you're getting off the field to make these 3rd down stops. When the defense was rocking and rolling last year, he was part of the mix that was calling the play. So was Boyer, but everyone else stayed on the defense, and these weren't the strengths to the team. It's just very odd to me. I don't like questioning moves like that. I don't like being the guy to wave what are they doing? I usually like to play the trust.
Because Jason, you're scratching your head because the results aren't coming, right?
I'm scratching my head because the results aren't coming. And do we know where this man is coaching, everybody? Anyone?
Gerald Alexander?
He's consulting with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You'll see him on Sunday night.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of like
Brian Flores. Very interesting.
That's kind of like, he's not like, he's consulting.
I didn't know that. Look, I agree with you. We didn't lose anybody for the most part, with the exception of Flores and Alexander.
Fulgencio, I was happy at 3-0, but they were incomplete. I was saying they have not played a complete game, so I was very happy.
Look, at 3-0, let's go. Let's rewind the tape a little bit. Let's go in our little time machine and let's just get on in our little DeLorean and let's go back to the time we were 3-0, shall we? I said at 3-0, I said, man, this team has got so much potential, but I have yet to see a straight dominant performance. But I had said, we're going to get there. They're going to get better with each time they're playing. We live in a league where if your quarterback is not decent, it's going to be very tough for you to win football games. point blank, right? And the reality of the situation is Tua for the first 3 games was showing me something, right? He was showing me improvement and marked improvement. We get into the Thursday night game against Cincinnati coming off. I personally think that game will serve as the benchmark for the NFL changing their rules down the line, that no team playing Thursday night can play on that previous Sunday. They're gonna change the rules next year, almost guaranteed. If not next year, the year after. But I 100% see them changing that protocol for that, and our game will be the benchmark for that. That'll be the reason for it. But anyways, neither here or there. We go into that game, and I don't care. People want to say excuses. The word excuses. I think there's realities. And the reality is we did come off a crazy game 4 days prior in the ridiculous heat. And Josh Allen even got up on that stage on Friday, on that Friday, saying, "Man, I'm just now starting to feel kind of like myself." We played the night before. And Josh Allen is saying on national television, "I'm just now starting to kind of feel like myself." What do you think the other 53 men on the Miami Dolphins were feeling like in Cincinnati, having to travel? So I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I think it's a reality of the situation, right? Point blank, my opinion, right? You don't have to agree with it. You can say it's an excuse. I think there's a difference between excuses and reality, and that's a reality. Let's go to reality number 2. We come play this week. Teddy Bridgewater has 10 days of practice. We think he's ready to go. Oh, wait, the NFL's changed its concussion protocol and how they're doing things now. Teddy in the very first play of the game, which by the way very bad play. You go back and look at the Tua play where he got
horrible
hurt.
Play.
Tua should have thrown that ball away, and Teddy should have got. I don't know what Teddy should have done, but he should have done what he did. Okay.
I mean, sidebar on that. You have 10 days. You have Teddy Bridgewater. You have to have every situation covered for your first possession, and they kick every time, so you're probably going to have a possession to have to respond to the offense, right? Yeah. And they come up with the worst thing you could do 5 yards before their goal line. Why can't you just have a money 3 to 5 yard run play right up the middle, give yourself some space? It changed the whole complexion of the game, literally.
It changed the entire complexion of the game, man. And the other thing that is interesting to me as well is Teddy. All right, so Teddy goes out of the game, right? Teddy then passes all of his concussion protocols, okay? If this was last week, Teddy would have been back in the game. He would have. Now, again, we're talking about realities. We're not talking excuses. These are realities. So Teddy doesn't come back in the game, who, by the way, for 10 days, he was taking, 95% of the snaps, if not more? So he's taking 95% of the snaps. He's getting ready for this game. He's excited. Goes out. Boom. First play. Gone. Now we get to bring in a 7th-round quarterback who, by the way, some of the fan base, not all of them, have deemed this man to be the next. No lie. I lie to you not. When we went down the field, I had somebody sitting in front of me, and there's witnesses to this. Guys, he could be the next Tom Brady. He could be that guy. Yep, I swear to God. Had Dolphins.
I mean, look,
fans
I like the kid. A lot of
that to my face.
Yeah, like I look.
Come on, guys.
Sometimes we like to joke. Sometimes we.
I honestly think they were halfway joking, but I think part of it, they were like in their mind, they wanted to believe that, right? They wanted that to be true. By the way, there's nothing wrong with wanting that to be true. I'm just saying, let's talk in realities here, people. And so, you're talking about a 7th-round quarterback who, when what he showed in the preseason, which was great, mind you, he was playing, 3rd and 4th stringers and people that aren't even in the NFL right now. They're not. He was. Azukama, by the way, who was supposed to be this great thing. Hello, he's not in the NFL right now. He's still, not dressing on Sunday. So what are we talking about here?
It's another thing. I was looking at some rookies, around the league, receivers, linebackers, and there are guys producing 6th rounders, undrafted 7th rounders. obviously when you draft someone in the first and second round, top 50 picks, top 60 picks, they're going to play, but the third round, the Dolphins have found people. Fourth round, Dolphins have found people. You got to play these guys. If you're drafting and building a team in other components like, trade and acquiring a Tyreek Hill, which is a great move, of course, you're losing your ability to bring in immediate impact plug and play players who are fresh out of college. But if you're drafting a guy who is from a national championship caliber defense in Georgia, I'd like to see him on the field. Eric Ezukama.
100%.
I mean, look, and again, I'm going all over the place, I feel like, and I'm sorry if I do, but like a lot of these offensive kind of coaches that we've had last, or the offensive, going back to like Philbin or Gates, it's over complication. Just play football. Like, you're drafting football players, go out, get a guy like Eric Ezukama and give him an opportunity.
And by the way, either they play good or they don't. And if they don't, who gives a crap if they are drafted in the third round, the fourth round, the seventh round, the first round, aka Noah Igbenogany? I don't care. Either you play or you don't. And if you're playing and you're not producing, you gotta go. Noah's on this team for one reason and one reason only: depth. There's no depth right now on this team.
Correct.
When it comes to that position. And that's why Noah's still here. Somebody had just put in the chat something to the effect of, why are we bashing Skyler?
We're not bashing. We're being real. He didn't play well.
It's a reality. And by the way, I'm not bashing him. I'm pointing out the obvious. Look, this man had no time to really get any reps with the first team. He's a seventh, like he should not have seen the field this year. His goal should have been, hey, we're gonna let this guy sit here. We're gonna let Tua do this. Teddy's got to come in for some snaps here and there. So be it. The goal was that we never saw Teddy this year. We did not want to see Teddy this year.
To answer
Skyler this year. We didn't want to see Teddy either,
Fulgencio on Easy E. Yeah, I'm sure you got to learn the plays, but I get that. But that's my point of saying, like, maybe these are overcomplicated. Look, he's a professional football player. I get it. All these guys got to learn the plays. But sometimes you need guys on the sideline who you got to throw in there and be like, yeah, we need a first down. Get in there. Get open. I mean, what happened to that? Is that crazy talk?
No.
Yeah. No. I mean, if you're gonna put people,
and this isn't bashing. Skyler played bad. He played bad. With the exception of 2 big catches, he would have only had a little over 100 yards for the entire game. What did he have? I think he had 166. And I think one of the catches was a Gesicki 30 yards. So there's that. And
that's another thing we could talk about.
And then Tyreek had a decent game too, right? So, he did not play well. And part of the reason, and so somebody might say, well, the run game, they were utilizing the run game because they had no choice to. Now, it was being effective, by the way. I think the run game did look pretty decent. I think Mozart had over 100 yards by halftime. I don't know if that's
he looked great. I think he hit it like right as the third started, like literally first run of the third quarter, he went over or something like that. But Mostert's the running back. Chase Edmonds is not looking great. I would love, if you want, I gotta get my opinion on the Gesicki situation because it's odd. It's killing me.
What do you want to know? Because I have.
There's nothing to know. We all know what we know. What I saw.
He doesn't block.
This is my point. We know this. So
every play he came out, I knew they were running. Every single play he came out of the game yesterday, I was there. I watched it.
I'm with you.
Said, here's a run. Here's a run. Gesicki's out of the game. Here's a run.
Here's what I would love to just understand why we're not seeing more of something like this. Example, you have Tyreek Hill and you have Jalen Waddle as your 1 year 2 who gets 95% of the targets, literally. They've gotten literally about 90% of the team targets, right? Mm-hmm. So why can't you put your Durham Smythe in as your blocking tight end and just call it as it is? Say, Gesicki, you know what? You're the slot guy. I don't care about the tag. I mean, is there going to be a file of of a law if they put him in the slot?
What did I say at the beginning of the year?
You're dead right. You were right. Sound the alarm. You were dead on.
I said Durham Smythe should be the number 1. Not because he's better as a receiver.
Correct.
Gesicki is 10 times more talented when it comes to receiving.
Correct.
But he is not a tight end.
I'm going to give you the name
he's
of
not.
Who one team, and I've made my
At
peace
all.
with the fact that he's not going to be a Dolphin next year. I've made the peace with it. You know, it's done as far as I'm concerned. Why can't he be like an Eric Decker? Remember Eric Decker?
Eric Decker.
He had 3-4 years where he was a beast, and it's similar to me, you know. And there's one thing I want to say about Gesicki that I noticed when I was, you know, we were at the game. I like looking at guys going on and off the field. I like looking at, you know, things that aren't on television.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the first time for me, I saw a very kind of upset walking towards the sidelines, despondent-wise, Gesicki, like almost like the air was taken out finally. It was in the fourth quarter.
He was not the only one, though. Jason.
No, I know that.
Like that.
But I definitely know that. But I've commended Gesicki on how he's handled it from a press conference and optics standpoint.
He's frustrated.
He's frustrated. Of course he is. Because
he's talented wise. I would probably say, as far as tight ends that are like that can catch, he's probably top 4 in the NFL. Okay?
He's going to be utilized in an offense that's going to utilize talent.
I swear up and down, if that man went to Green Bay, he would kill. He would murder there. He would put up some crazy numbers with Aaron Rodgers because of the way that offense is designed there.
I'll give you another scary one. I know they have a tight end in Dallas Goedert, but imagine Gesicki and them, because they had Ertz and Goedert just a couple of years back last year. You know, I mean, 100%. The Giants, 100%. You know, it's just unbelievable. How many teams could amplify their passing attack with a guy like Gesicki, and we're choosing not to do it. We're just choosing not to do it.
I don't know. It's weird, right? So let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about Mike McDaniel and his play calling. So, at any point yesterday, did you question any play call?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What did you question? And just what did you question?
Pardon if I don't know the exact time and down situation, but there was a couple of times where they got too cute. They did like that little reverse and a flip back to try to get a first down. 4-yard loss.
4-yard.
I'm tired. And this isn't just McDaniel. This is years. If you need 3 or 4 yards, don't put the ball 5 yards before the line of scrimmage. Never put that never put that into existence. If you need to go 3 yards forward, don't put the ball behind it 4 yards backwards. Ever. I don't care if it's predictable. Figure out a way to move it forward. There must be 500 ways to move the ball forward in 3rd and short. Just don't be too cute. And I got to tell you, I had him at a D+ from the first play of the game. First play of the game. Hated it. So those were my 2 that stood out to me. But I just didn't like, again, you throw Mike Gesicki a 30-yard pass, and he just leaps up in the middle of the field and brings it in. Okay. Do it more. You know, you're in the red zone. He's 6'6". Throw a fade to the corner. If he can't get it, if he reaches up, which his hands make him 7'2", 8'1", ball's out of bounds.
8'1".
I don't get it. I'm going to get a text message. My wife's working upstairs. She's going to say, stop yelling.
I get those all the time when I'm at home doing the show because my wife's in the next room working.
I'm yelling. I'm yelling, Steven.
Well, look, we're upset. Look, I don't want to question McDaniel yet. I think that the offense, by the way, the play calling when the right personnel in there is very on point. It's very accurate. If he made a call on 2nd and whatever to throw the ball with Skylar, it's because he wanted, in my opinion, Cam disagrees. I believe that he was trying to build in confidence into his young quarterback. Cam believes that's not the time and place you should do that on 2nd and whatever in a game. Mm-hmm. We kind of differ there. I feel like, well, when is he ever going to get a chance to do that? You have to, build that up. Now, with that being said, I don't think that Tua makes that interception there. And I also think that Skylar yesterday easily could have had 2 or 3 more interceptions. And luckily the defense dropped some. What, like gimmies. I know 2 for sure. There were 2 plays yesterday that the defense definitely should have had interceptions, and they didn't. And by the way, Sauce Gardner is legit, like 150% legit. But with that being said, here's the other thing, right? I thought this is just, I don't know if this is the fan in me or if I'm feeling biased because I'm a Dolphins fan, which is the same thing, just the fan in me. I felt like, man, if Tua was in here, this would be a totally different game. And Jet fans are sitting here happy because they're beating a 3rd-string rookie quarterback. And then we have all these players on defense that are hurt right now. And we're such a better team than this. And if they're struggling, and by the way, I get that they won 40-17. I want to give them their props. They did what they needed to do. But come the 3rd quarter, you were up by 2 points to a 3rd-string rookie quarterback and a depleted team. Now, it takes all 4 quarters to play. That's why there's 4 quarters in football. That's why we won Baltimore, because we played all 4 quarters. And in the 4th quarter, we came and we took care of it, right? So I'll give the Jets their credit on that. But the Jets don't scare me in any way, shape, or form. I don't think they're better than us. And I hope that Jet fans don't believe that they're better than us. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
It's a great question.
The Jets did beat us, and it sucks because they had 12 straight losses against divisional opponents.
We love, and I love it. I love stats. I love history. I love the series talk. I believe now it's 56-1. I literally think that we're at 56-1, if I might not be mistaken, against the Jets all time. But they're a different team from last year, from 4 years ago, 3 years ago. You got to give them credit for doing formula-wise what we tried to do: stack up first-round picks with trading out. They traded Jamal Adams out, and they turned that into plug-and-play players right away. They had a very solid draft. They bring in Sauce, they bring in Garrett Wilson, they bring in, what is the defensive player? Jennings or something like, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. But they had a very, very solid draft, and they're building. Are they better than the Dolphins up and down? No. But again, their full squad beat our full squad minus starters, which is what we did to the Bills.
I said no, their full squad beat our full squad.
That's what I'm saying. Did I? Yeah.
I thought you said. I thought you. What I was hearing was our full squad versus their full squad healthy. We kill them. That's what.
Gotcha. I feel it. Translation. Look, down in Miami is the last game of the year against the Jets, right? In January, if I'm not mistaken. And that game could very well be just like last year, a winning in, a losing.
I pray that it does not come down to that. I want to have a playoff spot wrapped up by like week 15 at this point.
It may or may not be the case, but fact is, if you are going into that game 193% full strength, if you have your defensive tact intact and Tua, it should be a whole different ballgame. And if they don't win that game, then there's a whole can of worms that get opened up. So you can say, it's the reality of the situation. It's not excuses. It's the reality. They got beat.
Yep. So, that was one thing with my conversation with Kit. Again, we had an hour and a half to go from Meadowlands to City Field. So we talked a lot about a lot of different things. But that was one thing I took from our conversation yesterday and talking about the Dolphins was he made me see the difference between realities and excuses. And I can admit, I don't want to be the person up here giving excuses, but what happens when those things, but those things did happen. They do make a difference in a game. They are certain reasons for them winning and losing. But it does seem that as a Miami Dolphins fan for my entire life, that they have a lot of realities on why they don't win football games on a year in, year out basis. And that's frustrating. So the last thing I want to touch on before I start bringing people on one at a time, and you can feel free to stay on or you can get off, whatever you want to do. But I do want to touch, do you understand as a Dolphins fan, you're a Dolphins fan, do you get those seeing Twitter and seeing the social media and seeing, oh my God, here we go again. Oh my God, I'm sick of this crap as a dog. Like that's all. I saw that so much on social media yesterday after the game.
I'm gonna answer this the way I like to. I like my analogies. I've become Mick Foley, meaning you could
Mr.
throw me
Sacco.
off. You could throw me off the top of a cage, and I will land on a broken table. Not to bring in Bill's Mafia, and I'm gonna get up and I'll come back again and see it again. I've numbed myself to pain, and I'll give you an example. My whole family knows my whole psychosis, right? And not only me and you are also kind of a little bit weird, because we're stands, we're supporters, we're media, we raise money, we do so many different things that it's sometimes hard to look at it as one of those things. So sometimes we're crossing and towing the line between how we really should talk about football objectively, subjectively, what have you. For me personally, I've detoxed my feelings from game to game very easier than I did 4 or 5 years ago, So that's what we have to do. We have to just kind of move on from it, wash yourself clean and go on to the next game and just hope that they fix what they fix. And that's kind of where I'm at as a fan.
Do you think that the Dolphins are a better football team than what they've proven to be the last 2 weeks? Or are they exactly who they are right now, 3-2, and forget the realities of the situation? This is who we are at this particular moment. I think we're better than our record says we are. And I think with Tua, I think both those games go differently. I'm not saying we win. I'm just saying they go differently.
You're 100% right. I don't know how to predict the Tua Vikings situation. Let's say, for argument's sake, if we're looking ahead, that it's not him, that it's whoever they deem able to play. I don't know if Teddy would even be allowed to play with this new rule, hopefully. But let's say it is Teddy going into the Vikings. That's potentially getting to 3-3 maybe. Let's just worst case scenario it, right? And then you have 11 games left. Again, I said 6 of those games are 1-2 win teams. Then you got the Jets again, right? So those are potential 7 wins that you should have, even if you win 5 of those. Now you're talking 8 wins, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tough games, but winnable, or 4 winnable games against the Chargers, Niners, Packers, Bills. So my math says 11 you can get to when this team is at full strength or close to it. And again, if they have to play without the excuses like against the Vikings, they are going to have to put a game plan together that maximizes the talent of all the players on their field. And I mean offensively and defensively too.
So you want to see McDaniels understand what he has as personnel.
McDaniel, I want to do a quote check from a while back. It was either preseason or training camp. I believe McDaniel said something to the effect of what he likes to do is maximize the skills of the players that he has on his roster. We saw that a little bit, but I need to see that with everybody. Maximizing the skills.
Understand what you have on your roster at any particular moment and use their strengths.
This goes back to everything that we've questioned too on this show, particularly. I want to see that from McDaniel more. I want to see Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were banged up, so I really can't use them as an overall example of their perfect usage yesterday. But there wasn't consistency in how to use the players right.
Did Tyreek Hill leave in a walking boot?
Yes, he did. He got, I think, stepped on. But look. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, look, the cookie crumbles sometimes the way you want it to. We've seen that. Sometimes the cookie crumbles the way the other team wants it to. And it's I'm not saying it's crumbling for us, but there's a lot of pieces that we got to put back together.
Let's get it all out the way now. We don't have to worry about it late in the year. We can just deal with it now, and we can just win some football games later in the year. Get us in a position to be in the playoffs and win a playoff game. I just want to win one playoff game. That's it. Just give me a playoff one. Let me know we're on the right track. Jr.
That's someone in the comments. Yeah, again, Cedric Wilson Jr. Usage. He's a third down specialist guy who can move the chains. And I know we signed him before the Tyreek Hill trade, so that the plan kind of went awry. But use him.
Yep.
Use them.
But Azukama as well, by the way. I don't understand why
Exactly.
he's not playing.
I don't understand it. We see seventh rounders undrafted. They get thrown in. We've seen it on our team. Just activate them. Play them.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. My man Jason Sarney's chilling with me on Therapy Monday. And now this is going to be your moments as the fans to come in and have your therapy. I'm going to bring you all on one at a time. Y'all can, tell me anything y'all want. You can. This is your time, okay? To tell me. I do want to remind you, I'm still in the hotel in New York. Matter of fact, I didn't show you this, Jason. Look at this, man. This is my view outside.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
Right at the Meadowlands. That's
New
great,
Yorker at
right?
heart. Love my city. But I love, it's funny, I was born in New York. I live in Pennsylvania. My heart is in Florida. I'm a really weird displaced guy. I love seeing that. But, yeah, that was my hometown.
Dude, look, it's pretty cool to wake up and see the skyline of New York City. Let me tell you, it's pretty awesome this morning to wake up.
There are worse, not many better ways you could start a morning.
And then real quick, just to get my thing, I did something not many people get to do in the world yesterday, and I just want to say I'm grateful for it. But I did an NFL game and a Major League Baseball game in the same day.
You did do that. Yeah, you mentioned you went to Citi Field and you made
awesome,
it.
Right? Like
you called that. You wanted to do that too.
Well, my original plan was to do 2 NFL games in one day. Right? And so last night we're sitting there watching the playoff game, Cameron and I, and I'm like, if the Mets win, there'll be a deciding game 3. And I was like, a deciding game 3 in New York baseball? Like, you got to go to that, right? Usually playoff games are 7 games, right?
Right.
But this new wild card format in baseball, they're 3 games this first round. And I was like, you got to go to that. And I wanted to see Edwin Diaz and the trumpet thing.
Well, you did see it.
I did see it, but it was so disappointing. It was so lackluster, man. It was just like, what is this, man?
I'll tell you, they got shredded for that on social media.
They should have. It was funny because Cam's like, they shouldn't even be doing this right now. This is ridiculous.
There's a very small contingent out there, like a 0.01% of the world population that are Dolphin and Met fans together, and they're hurting.
Oh, they are 100%. All right, real quick. Pete donated 10. So let me lay the ground rules because I need, there's drama within the fan base. I gotta control everything here, Jason. If I get timed out for no reason again, Steven, and you can't control your mods like Andre, then I'll just unsubscribe for life. I don't deal with this BS. All right. First of all, I love everybody. Okay. If you have made somebody mad in the chat, or a mod for that matter, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I am only one person. I need help with certain things, and I can't deal with personal drama between you two. But what I will say is, if they pay for the time you out, then they paid to time you out. Like, you can't get mad at that. That's the rules of the channel. You cannot get mad at that. You can't. You just can't. Like, you have the same thing. If Andrevius is up here and you wanted to do, you could do him. I'm not see, this is weird, right? I gotta be a babysitter sometimes, Jason. I hate it.
Oh, I know the feeling.
And I love all parties involved, but guys,
you're a ringleader.
Don't make me come back there, both of you. I will come back there. I will pull this car over right now.
Oh no! If I ever say that, I'm gonna be like, I've officially turned into my father, and I'm like, I can't allow that. I can never say that in the car. I can never say that. It would terrify me.
Eric Harry just said. Eric Harry said, "Well, so it's it's $10 to time out people, right? If you want to ban somebody for the day, it's a $50 day ban. That's how you ban somebody for the day."
Well, in the spirit of raising money, could the person who was banned put in $100 to get unbanned?
Yes, they can. They can double their and then that person can no longer ban them, right? So, for example, if Eric just throw in $20 to have Pete on, right? So, from 10:19 to what's 20 minutes from now?
10:40.
All right, 10:39. Pete can't come on. But if Pete then donated $40, Eric can no longer 10-minute timeout him. The only course of action he has is to day ban him. But let's say he throws the $50 day ban into effect, right? And Pete then pays $100. Eric can't do anything to him for the rest of the day. It just wouldn't, like, it can't do it. I
like these rules.
I think it's fair for all parties involved. I have made it as fair as possible.
I have no problem.
If you did it as unfair, I'm sorry about that.
Seems fair to me.
Rashad add this to the 20 for Pete.
Wow.
Man, 30 minutes for Pete. Bye, Pete. See you tomorrow. There's 50.
That's
Pete,
savage.
They got you off. They got you off for the day. $50. They got you off for the day, bro. I'm sorry, Pete. That's $50. What do you want me to do, Pete? Now, Pete, if you donate 100, Eric, Rashad, and Eric cannot ban you at all for the rest of the day. Now, you can still get timed out by anybody else. You're still open for it from other people.
That's a gamble.
Those guys can't do anything to you.
That's a gamble.
It is. It is.
I think you should take it.
I'm just saying.
But I'm an unbiased.
Thank you for the donations, guys. I really appreciate it. And Pete knows I love him. I got to be fair to everybody, right? I think I'm being fair to everybody, right, Jason? You feel I'm being fair to everybody?
1,000%.
You can pull money. You can pull money. Yes. If you do it at the same time. You can't wait 10 minutes. They literally just did it back to back to back to back to back. Like, you can't wait 20 minutes to do it. I'm not going to allow, but they literally just were like, here's 20, here's 10, here's 20. That's $50. And they did it all within a span of like 90 seconds. What am I like? That's good enough. You're good with that.
Got to go protocol.
Yep.
And speaking of protocol, I got like 10 more minutes with you, my man. And then I got to get to the Monday grind.
All right. Here we go. I'm bringing the people on. The link is in the chat, y'all. Let me pin this to the top. Hold on, I'm trying.
Oh, there you go. You got another
pin message. Andrevi says $10. Pete says he's quitting. He can't handle being trolled, only doing the trolling. I'm legit just trolling. It's cute when he do it. I mean, when do I do it? F him. You're killing me. All right, let me bring on the first person here. My brother from another mother. I watched the game with him yesterday, and he was like, "Do not." I have to admit, he was like, "Not." Yeah. Okay, I'll just bring him on. Mr. Eric Carrier.
What's up?
What's up, my guy?
What's up?
What's up, Jax?
What's up?
How are you, buddy?
Fun.
Let's talk about how wide open our wide receivers were yesterday. Let's talk about how wide open Waddle was the entire game yesterday. Streaking across the middle.
Game, Eric.
Streaking across the middle,
game,
and we're going to float
like,
one to River Craycraft.
Hey, just so you know, Waddle's open again. Literally just pointing out to him. Hey, just so everybody knows, Waddle was open again the entire game. Eric's
3 targets, not enough.
Wide open across the middle. Probably could have moonwalked into the end zone. We're going to float a ball out and a little out route to River Craycraft so Sauce Gardner can step in front of it, eat a sandwich, and then pick it up.
Yeah, that play was...
Skylar Thompson is trash.
Tell me
There's
how you
no
really
doubt
feel,
about
Eric.
He's
a rookie. I'm not going to say he's trash. He played like trash yesterday, but he's not trash. He's a 7th-round quarterback who we all of a sudden expected to make this ridiculous jump. There's a reason he was a 7th-round quarterback, right?
Exactly.
And he was not ready for that yet. He wasn't ready for that yet. He's not trash. He's just
has not practiced with the ones.
Yeah.
It was an uphill battle from the second he stepped on the field. I will give him that. He stepped in and he was as serviceable as a undrafted or a 7th-round pick can be. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look. Yeah.
So we're doing house cleaning. So my wife's out there listening to music. I'm cleaning our bathroom. Jackson's in here with me. So he just on one play, he would go through his reads and we would all turn and say, "Wow, he made it through all his progressions there." And then
the very next play,
he would hold on to the ball too long while there'd be two wide open wide receivers, or you'd have Mostert coming out of the backfield as an emergency dump off, and instead of getting rid of the ball, he's holding on to it, taking a strip fumble.
You know, one of the other things that I thought was interesting yesterday too, and you were pointing it out the entire time, and it plays into your comment here, is I remember the Dolphin fans giving two of the business for about progressions or that first or second read or whatever. I need people to realize, and this is where I'm going to back Skylar up. You want this man who hasn't had any practice to be able to come in, read defenses, go through his progressions, be comfortable in the pocket, minus Teron Armstead, mind you, and be ready to
Austin
go.
Jackson.
Yeah, and be ready to go. It's just not. Those aren't excuses. Those are realities.
I do like the audible he called and then took a sack though. That was pretty good.
Well, I was very surprised that he was.
I was surprised he was audibling to begin with.
Yes, 100%, and that goes into what Cam was talking about, Jason, that I was saying earlier, right? Like, he's given, like, Cam was mad that he threw it on the 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 4, right? I think he's doing everything in his power to make sure that no matter who's on the field, they feel confident in who they are as a player and giving them autonomy to be able to make decisions on the field. And you're going to make, as a 7th round rookie quarterback, Jason, you're going to make mistakes. And he made lots of them yesterday.
I tell you what, though, the kid can't throw a long ball worth of shit, but man, can he draw a defensive pass interference?
A defensive pass interference.
Got a couple of those. No,
he's like, dude, Eric's like, our new game plan today. Let's just throw 40-yard, 50-yard bombs and draw pass interference penalties. It'll move us down the field.
To answer your point, or to, and question about, the confidence or the play calling to amplify the confidence, there's a time and a place for that, sure. For example, if they were home, if he was practicing and dubbed the starter and you want to develop that rhythm, sure. But if you're an emergency situation quarterback, you should simplify it to the point of your easiest way to move the ball. Simplest way.
I don't understand why we went away from the one plan that was working, and that was pound the ball.
Correct. Exactly.
3 plays into the second half, Mostert was over 100 yards.
There it is.
Then he came off the field. Then we tried throwing a little out flat to Chase Edmonds, who dropped the ball.
Right.
And then I said, oh, great, here comes Gaskins. Can't wait to see him run up our lineman's ass while there's a wide open hole to the left. And what did he do? Absolutely nothing. And then at the end, what did they do? They went back to Mostert on the drive that got him into field goal range.
Correct.
Then we missed the field goal, which 53 yards. Everybody during was missing field goals on that end.
I said the story earlier about you and I, that I turned to you before and I said, I don't think we should kick this. And you were like, dude, he's money. He's good. He's got it.
I didn't say he was money. I said, why did we kick it?
I was like, why are you kicking it here?
It's a 53-yard field goal to take the lead when we have no right even being in this game.
And I said, I don't think we should be kicking it here.
It had plenty of legs. It wasn't for the lack of leg. It was just that if you were in the stadium, and Jason, I believe you were there. I saw you walking around yesterday. That end of the field was the only field that had left to right wind.
Yep, that's exactly right.
If you looked at those uprights,
I was looking at the flags the whole time.
Moving. The flags on our end weren't moving the entire game. And during warm-ups,
I think somebody called him. He froze for a second. You there, Eric? Somebody called him.
While we're waiting for him to pop back on. No, I know exactly what he was saying. I was like right on the 50-yard line. So I was like, looking like it was a perfect view of just
Eric, you there?
Flags. And when I was sitting next to my brother, and when Sanders was about to kick, he was just staring like at me, because he knows that I love Sanders, and we're just like we were both so nervous at that kick. And he always has the leg. It's not for lack of leg. It was a little wide. And
like I was saying, if you watched warm-ups,
Zerline
was struggling in warm-ups on that end of the field.
All right, one last thing, because I got a lot of other people in the background. Eric, I just wanted to ask you, what about that security guard yesterday? Do you want to tell people about the security guard yesterday that you were getting into it with?
That guy was a jerk off. So anybody that didn't see any pictures yesterday, Steve and I had front row seats, corner end zone, literally right where Mostert came in to score. If you watch the Dolphins replay, you see me like this over the railing as Mostert was coming into the end zone. So in between plays, I'd have my foot up on the railing like this, right? Well, this guy every 10 minutes would come over, get your feet down, get your feet down. So finally, even the trooper in front of us was laughing. So I had enough. Finally, I said, "You got Fireman Ed, the fakest fan in the NFL who quit on your team, standing on the railing to do your bullshit Jets suck."
He did. He said this to the security guard, and the troopers laughing. It's
I said, "You take your job way too serious. You're the type of guy that just goes home and fondles himself to watching Roadhouse because it's about bouncing. Just dreams about bouncing people all day long. The guy couldn't even sit on the ground in between timeouts."
I swear to God, he said this. And New Jersey State Troopers look like the thing off of Street Fighter. They look like like that's their uniforms. I
said even the troopers laughing. The troopers aren't allowed to laugh.
He's laughing. It was great, man. I was dying, man. I was yeah, man.
That guy sucks.
I appreciate that morning laugh, Eric. And on that note, I'm gonna let you guys do your thing, Steven. I love you, brother. I appreciate you having me on. It's always great talking.
Love you, Jason.
Man.
All right, Eric. Be good, man.
Later, buddy.
Take care, guys.
All right. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I'm going to bring people on one at a time here, and we're going to enjoy a little bit of Therapy Mondays here on Clock Blockers. Next up, I got Mark from Bills Mafia. Mark, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Steven. Actually, I want to just, comment on the game yesterday. I actually had the Dolphins predicted to win 27-24 on a late field goal. But to me,
you were onto something there for the first three quarters.
Well, I shouldn't say everybody. There's a lot of people in doom and gloom mode, which I don't really see the reason for. If you take a look at the whole situation, they set up with the safety, Bridgewater getting hurt. I think the focus on preparation for the game was, getting Teddy the majority of the first reps. And Skyler got like maybe 10 to 20% tops, and that's why things got kind of messy yesterday. But in point of fact, the Dolphins were in that game at 19-17. They took the blows. They brought the game back to within a 2-point game and missed the field goal. And that, to me, was the critical point in the game, because you're talking about 25 yards of field position. If the Dolphins make the field goal, they go up by 20-19. They're probably going to, put the Jets at the 25-yard line or worse on the kickoff. And now, do you think the Jets are going to go 75 yards? It's a lot different.
I said, and being with Eric, and you just heard me, I was like, I don't think they should go for it here. And the reason, and I said it earlier with Jason, I said the reason was the consequences of what was going to happen at that point, right? And I agree with you. I think you hit the nail on the head. The Dolphins, in no way, shape, or form, were going to allow them to go 75 yards downfield, in my opinion.
Mine too.
There at that moment. But on a short field, like you get one or two bad plays, all of a sudden they're in field goal position. Then you have a couple penalties, and boom, you're next thing you know, they're in the red zone, and you're like, what just happened? And that's what happened.
Well, the other thing too is, yesterday for the first time, the running game was really, really stepping up. And I think, one of those, and I'm just going to reflect back on the Bills game yesterday, just very briefly, because I want to make a point.
No, we're not talking about
how Josh I understand, Allen, but what you do. Let me go back to the Dolphins then. When you're taking a team and you are dominant in an area, you continue to stay in that area until they stop you. The Jets were not stopping the Dolphins running game.
And that's what Cameron and I were talking about on the ride to the Mets game last night. And I'll say it again. I personally not ready to question McDaniel yet. Was it a questionable call? Yeah. But am I going to say that's the reason we lost the game? No, I'm not going to say that yet. I'm not ready to say that yet. I mean,
No, but the whole strategy
of
is like if you're punching a team in the mouth and they can't stop you. Let's go back to like the Dolphins Super Bowl teams in 72, 73. They would throw the ball maybe 6 to 10 times in the game because they would pound Greasy, they would pound Morris, they would pound.
Yeah,
Kick.
but it was a different NFL then, though. Too,
understandably.
Mark,
but were the Jets stopping the Dolphins running game yesterday?
They weren't. They were not. And they walked away from it. And that's fair. And I get the questioning. I want to question McDaniel why you did that there. But I also feel like McDaniel wanted to, hey, this is a perfect moment to instill some confidence in my young quarterback. He gave him an opportunity to rise to the occasion. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So I'm personally not going to question McDaniel because I think it was bigger than the game. I think it was, this is a great moment to have him build to a building block for confidence and go moving forward in his NFL career. And I'm not even mad that he didn't. Like, I'm mad as a fan he didn't do it, but as somebody who understands the game of football, I get we were asking the world out of Skylar Thompson yesterday, and it's unfair to him. It's unfair.
Like I said, I don't think it was a bad situation. It was a bad situation. But to me, the Dolphins had fully recovered. They got kind of kicked in the teeth. They got down by 12. They responded with a touchdown. Yeah, the Jets, got the pick, got the short field again with a touchdown. The Dolphins drove down, made it 19-14, got a field goal in the second half. Now you got a 10-point swing. It's a 19-17 game. And, I discount the final score yesterday. 40-17 was not a reflection of the way that game was played. You missed the field goal. The Jets get a relatively short field, get a touchdown. Now you're down 9 as time is running down. Now you get a sack, strip fumble. Now it's 33-17. The ball game was over. It's out of control. So it's a 40-17 score does not reflect how that game was played. Not even close.
I agree. All right, Mark, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning, man. Be good, buddy.
You take care. Have a good day.
You too, man. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. It's Therapy Mondays here on Clock Blockers. I'm going to go ahead and bring on the next person. Rashad, good morning, Rashad. How are you, man?
I'm fucking dead inside, Steven. I hate it here.
I know it's tough.
Quick question.
It's tough. Go ahead, man. Tell me what's on your mind. I'm here. Lay down on the couch and relax and tell me what's on your mind.
Is jackass a swear jar word, or should I just say donkey?
It is. So you just so you know, you're at $3 right now.
Okay, yeah, I know. We looked so sad yesterday, and the excuses that came out after the game. I've never used these excuses for Tua, and the stuff was so terrible yesterday and toxic. Mm-hmm. The fact that we were crying about injuries and players not playing hard and all this. We went out there with quarterbacks at receiver with Tua. And y'all are crying that Tyreek wasn't 100% and our offensive line has always sucked. Shut up. Y'all sound stupid. Y'all sound like donkeys. That's exactly what it is. Like,
you don't think Teron Armstead and who else was not there? I'm trying to think of the name off the top of my head.
Austin Jackson?
Yeah. You don't think that played into an effect with a 7th round rookie quarterback coming into a game and not feeling as protected or as confident?
Of course it came into effect.
Okay.
But we've been through this for the last 3 years without Teron Armstead. Like, Austin Jackson has always sucked, so that's really no big difference. We didn't have these weapons last year. We didn't have who's our center right now. We didn't have him. Like, this is a better offensive line. We just suck. It's okay.
Who, by the way, being at the game yesterday, I got to see live and as close as I was, right?
Right.
And I say that because I saw high snap after high snap after high snap yesterday.
Too. That's all that
I saw
said.
So much yesterday, and it was like Connor Williams is not like they're. I have said for years, even going back to the Tannehill years, Rashad, that if the Dolphins would literally just invest the same amount of time and effort into the O-line, that these other things that like, you know, going out and getting certain players or understanding, you know, why are we questioning the quarterback, like, just put that time and effort into the O-line. Make that your number one priority year in, year out. I truly believe that if you want to win a Super Bowl, you need to have the best you need to have one of the best offensive line in football. Now,
I feel like
there are exceptions to the rule. There are exceptions to the rule. There are exceptions to the rule of teams getting to the Super Bowl without good O-lines, aka the Cincinnati Bengals last year. But I'm telling you right now, it's a problem, and it's been a problem. But with that being said, I know that when Teron Armstead is playing and is healthy, that offensive line is much better.
Much better.
And I said this year that as long as he plays minimum 13 games, it was worth it. So right. I know he started, but I'm going to count this as an out. That's just how I look at it. But there's something definitely wrong with his toe. There's like, I saw him, like, he walked right by us into the tunnel, and he looked defeated, man. That's what he looked like. He looked defeated.
Yeah, he probably upset that he's hurt
that's
already.
Real. That's a reality.
But drink some milk, kid. Like what the fuck?
I don't know. It's not that easy though. It's not. And you know, reading what I read yesterday that he couldn't even lift his foot to get into the shoe. That's a real thing, right? Like that's a real. Like there's something wrong there.
He's out for the season. Sheesh.
I don't think he's out for the year, but I think he's going to be out for a couple of games maybe. But my question to you, if he is out a couple of games, real quick, and let's say Tua comes back next week, is that, you know, does that not spell good future for Tua?
Tua go do what Tua do. Tua got sacked 20 times last year with that offensive line that we had. Okay. Let's cut it out. Teron Armstead isn't underthrowing wide open speedsters downfield. Like they were so open to the point where the DBs wouldn't even turn around.
Well, you're talking about yesterday?
Look for the ball. Yes.
Well, yesterday, to be fair, he wasn't even looking at Jalen, dude. You just heard Eric. Like Eric, every other play was, hey guys, just so you know, Jalen's open again. Hey, I don't know if y'all saw, but Jalen was open again. Hey, just so you know, hey, Jalen, it's Monday morning. Jalen is still open at MetLife. If anybody wants to know,
let's make it make sense. We have the most dangerous weapon in football who had the least yards per catch in his career. Yeah. That's amazing.
With a third string 7th round quarterback. He is what he is.
This is true.
I appreciate I think
that's my only excuse.
I think that there's and I'm gonna let you say one more thing and then I'm gonna go to the next person because I want to get through a lot of people here. Let me just state this. That what's the old Denny Green? We are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were. He is exactly what he is. A 7th round rookie quarterback who has not got a lot of playing time. The playing time he did get in preseason were against 3rd and 4th stringers. I get he balled out in those situations, but there is a reason the man was a 7th round quarterback. There is a reason that, you know, and you know, there's just so many factors into it, man. And do I think he can be a good quarterback? I do. But to expect him to come in and ball out like Tom Brady did the year he came in from Drew Bledsoe, slim to none. You want to know why? Because it only happened with him for the most part in Kurt Warner.
This is what everybody
we want to point out the 2 exceptions, Kurt Warner and Drew Bledsoe, or Kurt Warner and Tom Brady, and make him out to be, you know, the next thing. And that's fine. By the way, there's nothing wrong with saying, man, I hope that that's the case. But to clearly put that, not responsibility, but, you know, that leaning on him is not fair to him. It's not. It's not fair to him. He was put in and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit here and bash the guy. Did he play bad yesterday? He played atrocious yesterday. I'm sorry. He did. But he also played exactly what a 7th round rookie quarterback would do coming in from an injury in an NFL football game when he's the 3rd string.
I believe.
Yes, he played exactly what he is.
I believe if Reese and Net played, we win that game.
Oh my God, get out of here, Rashad. I can't with you. I just
believe
can't.
if
I love you,
Josh
buddy. Be
Rosen
good,
played,
man.
we win that game.
See, you're just trolling now. Get out of here,
I'm
Rashad. I love you, buddy.
serious. All right, man.
I'm not having that conversation with you today. You wait for a while and out Wednesday for that one. All right, let me bring on the next person in here. My brother from another mother, Triple S podcast. Good morning, Triple S. How are you, man? Take yourself off mute, buddy. Hello, Triple S podcast. All right, I'll wait for you to go on and come back in. All right, let me bring on Alexander Diaz. Good morning, Alexander.
What's up, Steven? You know,
how are you, man? Good morning.
You know, I'm going through
real quick before you finish. I went to the Mets game last night, bro.
Yeah, I know. You watched the funeral, right?
I did, man. It was, you know, I went for two reasons. Number one, it was a deciding game in New York, which, you know, how often do you get a chance to have an opportunity to do
Beautiful
that, right?
stadium, though, right?
It is, and I wanted to see Edwin Diaz, and I did get to see it, but it was like like I shouldn't have. Like it was so bad, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going through.
I wanted to see Edwin Diaz in the trumpet thing in the bottom of the ninth when they're up, and that's what I wanted to see. And then no lie, like if Machado had a hit off a walk-off, that would have been like my perfect evening because I love Manny Machado. But that's neither here or there, man. Yeah, it was bad last night, and it took us an hour and a half, like an hour and 45 minutes, I feel like, to get from the Meadowlands to Citi Field in Queens, and it was so bad. It was just so bad.
Yeah, it does take a while. You know, I've driven through that before when I lived up there. It was it's a hell of a ride, but you know, going through it yesterday, watching the Dolphins get the ass kicked yesterday, and then watching the Mets. It was like it was
a rough day for you yesterday, man. It was a rough day, and it's funny because there were other Dolphins fans at that game last night, and they had a Mets hat on and the Dolphins jersey, and I just felt so bad for them because I'm not a Mets fan. I just was there because it was I'm a big baseball fan, and I'll watch any baseball any day of the week. But yeah, man, I felt bad for anybody who was a Mets and a Dolphins fan yesterday. So I was thinking of you yesterday, man.
I appreciate that, Steve. I really do. But a couple things here. Number one, I'm not gonna put all the blame on Skylar at all.
Okay.
That,
yep.
and I heard you with Rashad, and you're right. A lot of it should not be put the blame on Skylar because it's a rookie 7th round pick that didn't get a lot of playing time, that came on in a bad situation. When Teddy went out, and what do you expect from him? I never expected him to light it up. Coming off the bench. But there
were expectations, and that, by the way, that's the word I was trying to think of a little bit ago. My brain is dead. I'm sorry, guys. But that's the expectations that some of the fan base had on him, Alex, and
it's
Alex,
not fair to him.
And I get that, right? I agree with you, but I think there's also this understanding of. Let me pause for a second. Let me state this, and then it'll revert back to this conversation. I don't think the NFL should ever do an expansion, and I'll tell you why. It has nothing to do with how many cities or what countries should get an NFL team or anything like that. It has to do with the lack of talent to spread around an extra team in the NFL. I already think the NFL has maybe too many teams. Because the lack of offensive line talent in the NFL is atrocious. Let's just call a spade a spade. There's some bad offensive lines in the NFL. And there's some bad quarterbacks in the NFL, right? And if you add another team or two teams, you would have to expand by two. You're then asking for two other quarterbacks to play every Sunday and be a starting caliber, right? And you're also asking for an extra 10 quality offensive linemen to play. And don't forget the rest of the positions, right? Like, I don't think the NFL should ever expand because I think it would take away from the talent that it just would take away from everything. And so I say that statement to say this. we were expecting, some of the fan base was expecting Skyler to come in and be this thing. The reality of the situation, guys, there's only 30, maybe 30. I don't even think there's 30 good.
Steven? I think we're not Steven.
Quarter break it. Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Hey.
still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know what it's this New York internet, man. It sucks. I think there's only 25 to 28 good quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. That's reasonable.
And by the way, I didn't say great. I said good.
Yeah.
Right. And or above average. Above average. Let's say above average. If I'm going on the scale. Above average and above, there's only 28 good quarterbacks in the NFL.
And
maybe 26, maybe 27.
The mayor of Dallas wants another football team here, wants another NFL team here.
Yeah, there's no way. Why?
I don't know, but that was on the news the other day here in Texas. But
well, Jerry Jones, as long as he's alive, will never allow that.
Agreed. But I tell you another thing, though. Yesterday, I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. This is your time.
I was gonna say, the thing is that the missed field goal is what changed the entire game around. The missed field goal by Sanders.
It was a big point in the game.
Yes. That really changed the entire complex of the game. Now, the problem I have is, first of all, Tanner Connor drops the ball on a nice pass from Skyler.
Correct.
And then you're going to call wide receiver screen on a third and 5 instead of just running why not run a halfback draw with the way most of us run? They were only rushing 4, and they were protecting against the first down on 3rd and 5. So why not run a halfback draw on that play? Check out of that screen and run a halfback draw right up the middle, right up the gut. And I bet you Mostert gets that first down, and the drive continues.
So I think this is a storyline that we need to watch for this year or the next few weeks. McDaniel's play calling. Right? I think I'm not. I just want to state for the record, I'm not questioning it. I'm not 100% mad by it. I do think there were some questionable calls yesterday, but am I going to sit here and I am not ready to second guess a guy in his 5th NFL game. I'm just not ready to do that yet, in my opinion.
Good point,
I'm just not. I'm just not. But I do think it's something that the fan base is going to keep an eye on. And I do think that if he makes some questionable decisions in future games, that there's going to be a big stir within the fan base from it. And because they're already starting to be one. Like I was so surprised yesterday when Cameron said what he said about McDaniel. I was like, what? That thought never even crossed. I didn't even question it, Alex. I didn't even question McDaniel. And he did. And now I'm hearing it this morning and seeing it on Twitter. And I'm like, whoa, there are other people within the fan base that feel like this. And I'm not ready to question a guy or even second guess him. And would I have kicked that field goal? No. Would I have thrown on that 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 4? No, I wouldn't have. But I'm also not going to sit here and question a guy in his first year of NFL in his 5th game. Who, by the way, has made some really amazing calls in this offense, and it looks 10 times better when Tua's in there.
And I think he's going to learn from this. He will learn from this game, and he will take. And I think McDaniels is only going to get better once this team gets fully healthy. I think this team is going to be better. I still believe in this team. I really do. I think this team is a playoff caliber team. And I still think they can.
With Tua, they are.
Yes, with Tua, exactly. And yesterday showed you how valuable Tua is to this franchise.
150%. And I hope the rest of the NFL sees that. And I hope the NFL sees that. And I hope, most importantly, our fan base sees that.
Yeah. One more thing,
man.
And then I'll go. Question to you is, if this team is at full strength with X and Teddy, even with Tua out, with Teddy Bridgewater starting, and X is still in there, and Teron Armstead does not have the injury that he has, do we blow out the Jets? I say we do.
With Teddy?
With Teddy or Tua?
Well, with Tua, yes, 100%.
or at least win the game.
I mean, dude, we had a chance to win it with Skylar yesterday. Let's call a spade, right? Like we had a chance to win it with Skylar yesterday. So, I mean, by that pure motive, yes, you do. But I think what people realize is what one of the things that Tua brings is like I've seen how valuable he is as somebody. It spreads to the rest of the team, right? The rest of the team, because they're confident. And I think they're a lot more confident than people make them out to be with Tua as the starting quarterback. My opinion. You don't have to agree with it. I'm just telling you. You go back and look at the Cincinnati game after that interception that Teddy threw. The rest of the team was deflated. Now, at that point, I also think there was they were worried about Tua, and that's a big reason for it. But yesterday, you look at that, and the moment that interception happened, or the interception as well as the missed field goal, I just think players on the sidelines they looked lackluster, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to them, and maybe I'm off. I'm just telling you, I observed that their body language and how they look different, and that's what I observed. You know,
I agree, man. I agree. Well, have a safe flight home, bro.
I'm driving back. I'm driving back.
Well, have a safe.
Yep, I get to do 3 hours. I get to do 3 hours in the car after this.
There you go. Well,
and then I got to drop off all of my luggage at my house, and then go return the rent-a-car, and then get an Uber to take the Uber back. Like, yeah. So I got I got like 5 hours ahead of me of just.
Well, just have a safe trip home, bro.
Yeah.
And God bless you and your family, bro. Keep on doing the great work you do, bro. I haven't been up here in a while, but I just wanted to come on and say what's up again. And I'll be listening to you.
I love you, brother. Be good, man.
Same here, man.
Thank you. Yep.
Take care,
Bye.
man. Bye.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Let me bring on my next guest, Mr. E.M. Baller. Good morning, E.M. Baller. How are you this morning? Take yourself off mute, buddy.
Hey, what's up?
How are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm not as disappointed as everyone because I saw this coming as soon as Teddy was out and didn't return. I'm like, dang, we're not going to score more than 20 points with Skylar. I just do it because I saw Skylar scouting him in college, and I'm like, this dude is not as talented and as ready as people are saying. And you get what you wish for. People wanted a veteran like Teddy to go away and just give Skylar all the reins. Even you did, didn't you? Aren't you the one that said that we should probably look to trade Teddy and have Skylar as the full-time backup?
I don't know if I said that, but it sounds like something I would have thought. So maybe I said that out loud.
Yeah, you did.
But I need videotape of that I said that. But I'm not saying that I didn't think that at one point. And by the way, you know what? I don't know if I did say that, because what I remember saying, EM, is with Teddy, we know his ceiling. There's the unknown of Skylar. I feel like that's what I've been preaching for the last 2 or 3
you also said
weeks.
that as well, and I've been thinking, like, yes, the unknown. What if the unknown is bad? And we saw the unknown is bad. But we know with Teddy, he's a guy who's not going to lose you a game.
By the way, I don't think we saw the unknown as bad. I think we saw the unknown of exactly what it is: a 7th-round quarterback playing in an NFL game.
But people didn't want to listen to that. Matchup. People only took the preseason and they said, "Hey, look, he can definitely play ball in a pro level."
Alan said Roach said that, not me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but I do agree. You did
that out loud.
All right,
maybe I
you probably thought it, but you did say that the unknown of Skylar intrigued you. So
it did, because and you know what? And let me tell you something, EM. That yesterday confirmed that, right? And let me tell you why. Because I feel like, and this goes against Skylar and Teddy, right? And again, I'm not trying to be negative or knocking. I'm just the reality of the situation. I've seen this team's body language on the sideline in the fourth quarter, offense and defense, especially the defense. And come the fourth quarter, I feel like they're just saying, F it, man. we've done everything we need to do for 3 quarters to put this offense in a position to score some points. They've routinely bailed on us or haven't, I don't want to say bailed on them, but they've routinely not come, close the deal or put, enough points on the board to but to be fair to them, you got to play 4 quarters in the NFL. It's not 3 quarters of football. But I get that the defense probably feels, we're exhausted. What was the time of possession yesterday? I'm interested to know that. What was the time of possession yesterday? I can look at it right now. Stats, here we go. Time of possession. Oh, it was even. Jets
it was pretty much
30,
even. Jets had a little
30,
more.
Yeah, well, 1 minute, 2 minutes more. That was it. But that's interesting.
But we did have a lot of boneheaded plays that shot ourselves in the foot, like that terrible interception. Like, bro, I think it was his arm hit.
His arm was hit. Or the helmet hit the arm, if I'm correct.
Oh, okay. But still, bad decision anyways, because he was fully covered. Like, there was no one else open, or you couldn't improvise a little bit. And obviously the missed field goal. So it was a team loss. The defense played good to start.
It was a team loss, but
struggled later.
And everybody played their own. Everybody had their own factors on why the team lost yesterday, right? Like Skyler just wasn't good enough in any way, shape, or form. Any facet wasn't, right? The coaching abandoned the run, I guess, come the 4th quarter and just ran away from it when they were being effective for 3 quarters, right? The defense obviously gave up 21 points in the 4th quarter, and in the first 3 quarters, they were keeping the team in the game, right? You could go through all aspects, offense, defense, even special teams. Special teams, missed some plays. They didn't. They allowed, they missed a 53-yard field goal, so everybody on all aspects, coaching, special teams, defense, offense, let us down yesterday. It was an entirety thing. It wasn't that, oh man, the defense played good enough for that team to win, or the offense played good enough for that team to win, but everybody screwed up yesterday on every facet of the game.
And Steven, I got a question. Why are people really calling for McDaniel's head? Because think of it like this: we are 3-2.
I have not seen anybody call for McDaniel's head, by the way.
All right. Well, I will say it. TD called for his head. TD said fire McDaniel and bring in Sean Payton.
He said that?
Yes, and I don't think Sean.
When did he say that?
After the game? I'm sure it was an emotional TD. Yes. I'm sure he was being emotional because we got blown out by the Jets, but we're 3-2. Our offense looks 10 times better than it did last year because we have an actual guy who knows how to call plays. Winning record. Obviously, we look way better with Tua than with Skyler. I mean, it's more of a Skyler thing than as a McDaniel thing. And I'm not going to say Skyler is a bum, but he is a 7th-round pick. Yeah,
can I pause you real quick? If anybody is saying that our head coach deserves to be fired, I don't know what to say to that, because I think that's if TD really said that, which I'm not, if there are people in the chat saying he did say it, I would love to talk to TD and understand, is that an emotional thing that you said, or do you have something to back that up? Because I think people need to understand this isn't to TD. This is to anybody who's saying that. He is a first-year head coach coaching his 5th NFL game with a 3rd-string quarterback. He's had major injuries. He's having to work through them. Let this man see what he can do. Let him have his growing pains. Okay? I think that that's what I would say. If anybody does say that they think Coach McDaniel should be fired, I need you to come talk to me and have a real conversation. And don't give me, oh my God, because he made a bad call, because that's BS. He can make a bad call. They happen all the time in the NFL, okay? Like, nobody's going to be perfect.
And this is the type of adversity people are saying could McDaniel overcome, and we'll eventually find out, because I think Kyle Shanahan won 3 or 4 games his first year where San Francisco people calling for his head. I don't remember. I just remember them saying, okay, we need to get hold on, we need to get ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Peyton Manning threw 33 interceptions his rookie year. Peyton Manning threw 33 interceptions his rookie year. Nobody was saying he was a bust.
Yeah, people were saying, let's give him more time.
Yep.
But after Tua's rookie season, which wasn't that bad, people were saying, oh, he's not good. We need to get rid of him. And like you said, the body language, people love Tua so much that even if, we're having some bad drives here and there, as long as Tua is playing, everyone has confidence that he will bring them back, because if you look at Tua's fourth quarter stats, bro, he's clutch. Tua is clutch in the fourth quarter. So as long as Tua is...
S podcast said TD did not say that. He said it's possible that happens at the end of the year. People love misquoting TD. Now, with that being said, okay, all right. So let me state this that I've already put on record. I put in day one we brought in McDaniel. Okay, so don't let nobody else tell you that I didn't say this from day one. I said if the Dolphins do not make the playoffs, I could totally see a world where McDaniel is a one and done. I totally could see that. I don't think he deserves it. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm saying if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs, do not be surprised if they hit that boop, reset button on everything. On it all.
I'm not going to
scream, but
right.
I said that the day one of McDaniel. I said, because
I'll go back. Go ahead. Finish.
No, I said that because I think that he came in, he pretty much said, all right, this is your defensive coaching staff. You don't get to pick your defensive coaching staff. You can pick anything else you want. Do you want to work with two? Do you not work with two? Make your decision now. He decided he wanted to, so you're going to live and die with them. You're going to go out and get some players. I'm just telling you from the standpoint of, what the Dolphins, what's going to happen if he doesn't win a playoff game. The world's going to burn and everything's going to Stephen Ross is going to be like, we're just going to hit the reset button again, because that's what I do. And yeah, that's what I believe will happen if he doesn't make
All right, I got 2 more things before you let me go. Okay, the first one, I'm going to go back to what he said exactly, but from what I remember him saying, not that we could possibly do this, but he said he is looking forward to the Stephen Ross, just everyone getting Stephen Ross going on his own way to get Lamar Jackson and Sean Payton this offseason. All right, and one more thing is I'm not afraid of this. I'm not afraid of this season. I'm not saying, oh, the season's over. Once Tua comes back, we'll do great, and even Teddy would have. I think Teddy would have won the game. So,
I think Teddy would have put us in a position to win the game. I would have liked to. I wanted to see what he could do. How about that? I wanted to see what he could do.
Okay, so if Tua doesn't come back, then Teddy will come back next game, and then I do expect Tua to come back during the Pittsburgh
We don't
game.
know. We don't know with these new concussion protocols if that's the case, by the way. We don't know.
You're right.
They could easily say if you had it, you need to sit out 2 weeks minimum. Boom, you're gone.
Yeah, and he did sit out 2 weeks, but what's with these new protocols? Teddy did Teddy even hit his head?
EM, if you listen to my show, I called this. I said this is exactly what's going to happen. I said I said, quote unquote, the NFL will overcompensate and this will be out of control for the first few. I said it's
I know I heard that and I never disagreed with you, but just seeing it, actually seeing it, them being too soft, I'm like,
what I want to do tonight, or if somebody can do this for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. That would help me out tremendously if somebody could actually do this. I would like to see the numbers in the NFL 2 weeks ago with players leaving in concussion protocol, B, players leaving in concussion protocol and then coming back, and see what the time when they were gone, how long were they out for? Okay. So I would like to see that, and then compare that okay, to how many people went out in the NFL yesterday in concussion protocol and how many people came back. And then along that was A, B, C, D, E. Also, what is the expected length of time they're saying that they could be out for? I'm interested.
But
to
they
know
did they give a reason why Teddy was in concussion protocol? Did he like hit his head kind of hard or what? Do you know why?
They said neck and head, I think, actually, if I'm correct. I was at the game, so I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure they said neck and head, which is the same thing that Tua had, quote unquote.
Yeah, but I saw them hit
head.
his ribs and he hit his full back, and then his head just barely touched the ground. I mean, it hit the ground. So if your head hits the ground even a little bit, then you're going to be in concussion protocol. Okay, NFL, I see you.
Elbow and head, Rick Spar said. Okay, well, look, again, what I'll state to the situation is the Miami Dolphins, or not.
We're making the playoffs.
The NFL. Well, look, I still believe we will, right? They said elbow and head. Everybody's saying elbow and head. Okay, that's fine. But I think if you have anything with your head, you're going to come out for a week for that game. I don't think you're coming back. The NFL, and that'll be the extreme of it. But I think what's going to happen is the NFL is going to have new parameters on guidelines for checking concussions, if not by, now they're going to try to change it, but there'll be new ones set in place for next year. So they're going to fine tune it this year. Some teams are going to get screwed. I think we got screwed yesterday. I don't know if that will be the case going into next year, but they're going to try everything. They are going to say, hey, look, we tried things, we changed it, we covered our butts. We wanted, we care more about players than we do about the game, the quality of the game. We care about the quality of the players' lives, which, by the way, is 100% how it should be.
I doubt that. They care more about publicity than they do about people's health.
It's how it should be. Let me finish by stating.
All right.
That's what they're saying. We know that they care about the product on the field more than they do about the players' lives, right? And that's the NFL, right? That's anywhere. I mean, honestly, that's any, if you can't produce for us, you are not valuable to us, okay? And so you could say it's inhumane or there's no empathy, and that's all true, but it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you got to understand they care about the product on the field before they care about the people that are putting that product on the field. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm just telling you it's the reality of the situation. And again, these are not excuses. These are realities of the situation. So let me just go back and say, I hope that Tua comes back this week, but we're going to see how this new concussion protocol goes in. But I could totally see a world where, look, I need y'all to put this in the back of your mind. There is a world here where Skylar Thompson starts next week against the Vikings. That could totally happen. Because
I would like that.
They could easily go out and say, if you went out for a concussion, you're out for 2 starts. You have to be out for a minimum of 2 starts. So last week would have been the first start for Tua, or yesterday, and next week would be the second start. And they could say the same thing for Teddy. Teddy's going to be out 2 weeks. Skylar, and it'll be Skylar and Reed Sinnett.
But isn't it different because Teddy never had a concussion? Tua actually had a concussion, so shouldn't the timelines be different?
He went into concussion protocol.
Yeah, but he didn't have a concussion. Tua went into the protocol and had a concussion. So shouldn't Teddy be like 1 year shorter than Tua?
You mean 1 week shorter?
1 week. 1 week shorter than Tua.
I mean, I'd like to think that, but I again, what did I tell you? I think the NFL is going to overcompensate, and they're going to be like, look, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to cover our butts.
All right, I'm going to go so you can put more people here. Thanks for having my time in. One more thing before I go. People, I'm not a Skylar hater. I wanted Skylar to succeed last game when he came in. My problem with all of y'all is that y'all kept saying that Skylar was the best quarterback. Not you. I'm saying the people that were saying that Skylar is the best quarterback we got. And I kept telling people the reason I liked Tua so much and I wanted him to play and stay healthy is because he gave our team the best chance to win. Has that worked out so far? Absolutely. Just saying. Later. Thank you for your time.
No problem, Ian Baller. I appreciate it. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. We're going to stay on for a little bit longer, so I'm going to put the link in the chat again. If more of you come on, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts. It's Therapy Monday. I got 2 people in the back room right now. I'm going to take the next 2 here in a second. Let me just react to this statement that I find very interesting. Where's Rashad's statement? He said, Steven, you make an injury sound like a suspension. It's so funny that that's how you put that. Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why that's very interesting, Rashad. That's how we need to start looking at these concussions, though. If you get a concussion, you are out. I just think it's your observation, I think, is very accurate. And it's very interesting that's how you viewed it in your observation of it, because I think that's a reality of the situation. If you get a concussion, you are going to be out a minimum of 2 games, I think, is how they're going to do it. Now, again, I don't know it. I'm not a doctor. I'm just merely going off the data that I'm seeing. I think the NFL, again, is going to overcompensate for things. I think if you go out, you pass concussion protocol, you go out for a concussion, but you pass the protocol, maybe you're out for 1 game, maybe 2. I don't know. It'll be 1 or 2. That'll be interesting. Oh, is that breaking news? Matt Rule? Is Matt Rule gone? Here, let me pull up Twitter just to confirm that. Briefly, I got 2 people in the back room. I want to bring them on real quick. Pete went after me on Twitter. I love you, Pete. Just know I love you, brother. Let's see here. I don't see anything about Matt Rule getting fired. Oh, yep. Here we go. Getting fired and paid out his 7-year, $63 million over 4 years left. Matt Rule, head coach of the Carolina Panthers, just got fired, and they are paying him his remaining 7 years, $63 million. Wow. That man living his best life. That's crazy. That's insane that they're paying that out. Man. This is what I think. I think it's very interesting, that whole Carolina Panthers situation there. I'm interested to see who they'll bring in. I think Baker Mayfield will be on another team next year. He won't be in Carolina. He'll be on another team somewhere. But that's just my 2 cents of the Carolina situation. But I want to go back to the Dolphins. Okay. Let me bring on the next person here. My man, Sharif. Good morning, Sharif. Take yourself off mute, Sharif. Sharif, are you there, buddy? Sharif going once. Sharif going twice. Sold to the man with the big blue. Yeah, all right, yep. All right, Sharif. Just go out and come back in. Let me know when you're back. Triple S Podcast. Good morning, Triple S Podcast.
What's going on, Steven? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man. How are you, buddy?
Beautiful. I'm good. Well, I've been better, obviously, but I'll keep it short and sweet. I got a few points I wrote out here so I wouldn't forget anything, and I'll just try to rip them through and interject if you feel. First and foremost,
just so you know, I might interject on each point because I want to talk about each point, but go ahead.
I know your style. It's all good. First thing, it's 1 game. Okay, it's 1 game for Skyler. Let's be fair to the kid. He didn't completely shit the bed. Oh, swear jar, my bad. He didn't completely, screw the pooch. That's my my swear jar version. It's 1 game. Tua's had bad games. Teddy's had bad games. To say
Skyler's
that
entitled to a bad game.
Exactly. To say that now we know he's not the best option. Now we know he's not the most. These are all overstatements. It's 1 game. That's the first point. Second point is not necessarily to do.
I don't. Hold on. Let me just
go ahead.
Let me pause you.
Sure.
I don't think they're overstatements. I think they're very accurate statements. Skyler is not the solution to our issues. And I don't believe that Teddy is the
I would
solution to our
disagree.
issues.
I think that's an overstatement.
Why do you think that's an overstatement?
Because as I just said, it's one game. What if he plays next week against Minnesota and throws
And
for
lights it
3?
up?
Like, this is a big what if, right? But anyway,
Yeah.
what if he goes out and
Okay, no, it's
again?
fair. Let's play
That's why I
that
think it's an
scenario out. Let's say,
overstatement.
all right. So here's my thing, Triple S. Everything we have seen now. Okay, let's go up based off what we've seen.
Sure.
We saw a player get drafted in the 7th round of the NFL.
Mhm.
Most quarterbacks that get taken in the NFL in the 7th round are, for the most part, career backups. There are an exception few in the NFL that you can go in their history. And there's a reason that they're drafted over undrafted, right? They're drafted because their talent level's just a little bit better than some of the undrafted free agents that you'll see, and that they want the opportunity to bring them in, and they don't want to have to compete with other teams to try to sign them as a free agent, right?
Free agent.
So we know that Skylar has some talent. We know that he's there. All right. Now we go into the NFL preseason. We see that Skylar's balls the F out. My man is killing it, but he's killing it against mostly, for a majority of all of his reps, a majority of most of his reps are third, fourth, and fifth stringers and players that are no longer playing in the NFL. Those are facts. Those are, you can't argue that. Okay. So now we say, okay, you did what you were supposed to do with what we gave you. You not only did you do it, you blew it out the water. So with that, we're going to reward you with a roster spot or a practice squad spot or keep you close to the team, right?
Yeah.
So then at that point, what they say is, okay, we have some injury issues. Do we go out and get a free agent, or do we keep with what we have in-house? No, we're going to see what Skylar has. Skylar then is thrust into a situation yesterday where he has to play an NFL game and lead his team to a victory, right?
Yeah.
And if you're good enough to be on a 53-man roster, you have some talent.
Mm-hmm.
But the blanket statement of he is not the guy that should be leading this team, or he doesn't have the goods, I believe is an accurate statement right now. He is a 7th round, unpolished, did not show too much of anything yesterday that made me think, oh my God, he's better than Teddy, let alone better than Tua. And so I don't think it's to go to the original statement. I think it's an accurate statement and a fair one at that. But I also think that it's also fair in that same breath to say, let this kid develop, and I personally would like to see him develop on the bench and eventually get more playing time next preseason. But if he's going to be thrown into a situation, let's not think of him as the next coming of Kurt Warner or Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Let's just, that's why I was appreciating what he was doing yesterday through the first 3 quarters. And then Mike McDaniel, which is where you can argue, McDaniel said, you know what? I want to build this kid's confidence up. I'm going to put the ball in his hands more instead of just straight running it. And that's where I think we went wrong yesterday. But that's neither here or there. To your statement, I don't think it's an inaccurate statement. I think it's a very accurate
and we can
one.
agree to disagree. That's fair. You're entitled to your opinion. I respect it. And,
that's right, Triple S. We can agree to disagree.
For sure. And I want to also go back to that statement and say I'm not a Skynet member. I'm not saying to say that it's unfair to say he's not the answer. I'm not saying by de facto he is the answer, because like I said, it's one game. We don't know, and the one game wasn't good. Let's put that out there as well. I'm not trying to say it was a good game.
I'm basing my what's eye test on what I've seen.
Yeah, and it hasn't been good. But
correct.
Just my last thing on this is that yes, it wasn't good. Yes, it doesn't mean that he is the answer, but I also don't think it means that he isn't good and isn't the answer. It's because, like I said, it's one game, we don't know. But anyway, I'll move on. Next point. This is just a short, quick one. I want to maybe see how you felt. The most frustrating part of the game wasn't the play call, wasn't anything on offense, anything on defense. For me, the most frustrating thing was when Michael Carter scored that touchdown and did the Waddle.
Seeing Waddle. Oh my God. I was so pissed off.
I was so mad.
So Dolphreaky and Jared were sitting next to me, and then Eric was 2 seats down. They didn't see it. They just saw the touchdown and kind of put their heads down. Like they were, dejected, as we all were. I'm looking forward, and I see Michael Carter do the Waddle. Bro.
Who can hate on Waddle,
bro?
Like, how does he
I was so upset that they did the Waddle.
Do they have some kind of beef?
And I hope for 2 things in this world. I pray that come week 17 we're still in it, right? And I hope that Michael Carter's there for it. Because, bro, that man, I want to see him get hurt. I don't want to see him get hurt. But, man, I hope that man gets the business by our defense next the last game of the year. Because that was so disrespectful. Just straight disrespectful.
Yeah. That was
I was mad. I was
frustrating
legit upset at that. I agree.
Okay, I'll move on to my next point, which was, let me see here, let me get my sheet. One of the things you said that I disagree with, and again, like I said, it's fine to disagree.
Go ahead.
You had said that you don't blame McDaniel for going away from the run game late, and that, to see what Skylar will do in that situation, will he rise to the occasion? For me, I disagree on not blaming him because I don't think that's the time in a tight game on the road when it's so critical. You win, you're in first in the division, you lose, you're in third. I don't think that's the time to test that, especially to a detriment to the team. I mean, it could have worked out, but I don't think that's the time. So I do blame McDaniel for going away from the run. It'd be different if the run game was going so-so. Mostert had 60, 70 yards, and he's like, okay, let's go from this thing that's sort of working. Let's see if we could put it on Skylar's shoulders. Let's see if he can handle it. But the run game was going, Steven. So I disagree. I do blame McDaniel for going away from the run. I think that was one of the parts of why we lost. Not the whole reason, but one of the parts of why we lost. So I do blame McDaniel for that.
All right. So let me elaborate on that a little bit more. I think it's a fair point. Okay. But, and let me use the word but in here, big but.
Big butt.
Okay. Big butt. If not, when? And you don't know how many times you're going to get. And there's so many limited chances to see your third string quarterback. So why not put that on him in that moment? Because let's just throw this out there. He did show a lot of potential and he showed that arm in the preseason. And so he wanted that opportunity to see it. Now, what I will say is he did have plenty of opportunities the entire game to do that, not just in that particular situation.
Yeah.
And he wasn't reading his progressions that well yesterday. He was looking, and when he was looking, they weren't sound decisions, right? They weren't they weren't sound decisions from the standpoint of what should I do and who should I pass it to? Because again, to elaborate to my buddy Eric's statement, hey, Waddle, just so you know, it's 11:27 a.m. on Monday morning, and I'm pretty sure Waddle's still open in MetLife, just so y'all know. And I laugh, I make the joke, but it's true. He was open so much yesterday, and he just, I don't know if he refused to go to him or just didn't, whatever the case was. So, but he didn't, is the reality of the situation. And, I think that I don't necessarily have a problem with our head coach trying to see the mental fortitude and what, you do it. And I just didn't have a problem with it. I get if you do.
That's fair. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just saying where I disagree. That's it. I'm not trying to change your mind because I know people, it's hard to change someone's mind on something. So I just wanted to voice.
No, I'm not saying you can't change your mind on that one. I can't change my mind on that one. I'm just telling you based on what I have. Now, let's say he does the same thing again next week. Now I might be in okay, what's going on?
That's fair. That's fair.
But I have a very difficult time putting any major part of the blame on McDaniel because I think he is trying to see what he has and personnel, and he's trying to put his team in the best opportunities to win football games, and sometimes those two things don't always go hand in hand, and you make a decision on what's more important for the future of my team. And I think what's more important for him is to know what he has moving forward, and so that's and again at that point it was 1917, right? It wasn't like they were getting it just happened to be that just took the life out of everything.
Yeah.
So, that's what that is. So, all right, what else you got?
I got two more. I'll make them quick. The first one is a reply to Alex Diaz. I love Alex. Great guy, very nice guy. But I do like I said, it's okay to disagree. So I disagree with one thing he said earlier. Not even necessarily that I disagree.
Okay.
Just want to respond to it, I guess. And it's not just him, so I don't want to single him out. A lot of people have been saying this kind of thing. The we win with Tua. When we're healthy, if X and Byron are there, they weren't. They weren't there, and saying those things isn't going to change an L into a W on the win-loss column. So I don't get. I guess my point here is I don't get why those statements are made as much as they are. I mean, maybe I guess I get it because it makes us feel better. It makes us feel better. But at the end of the day, when the final game is played of the season and the standings are looked at and we determine who's in the playoffs, who's not, what seed you are, no one's going to look back and say, well, in week 5, the Dolphins didn't have their corners in their first 2 quarterbacks, so let's move. Like, that doesn't happen. So for me, I used to be a Class A excuse maker. I used to love making excuses for the Dolphins, for our quarterbacks, for Tannehill, every excuse you could think of. I'm just done with it. So I guess, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to see why people, I shouldn't say that because I used to be just like that, but so I know why, but I guess my whole point here is I'm done with the excuses, and you could say
all right. Let me elaborate.
Tua.
Let me elaborate on this, Triple S. Okay. Maybe it's the way Cam said it to me yesterday on the ride over there. Maybe it was because I'm exhausted and I'm not thinking straight. Whatever it is, he said it in such a way that now I'm like, I get it. Let's talk about 2 words: excuses and realities. And sometimes a reality can sound very much like an excuse, and they might actually mean the same exact thing, right? An excuse is something. What is the definition of excuse?
It's a reason for something. I think. Like I think to say we win if we have Tua is an excuse.
Excuse
we win
definition
if
is an attempt to lessen the blame, attaching a fault or an offense, seek to defend or justify. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. So we win if we have Tua. We win if we're healthy. We win if we have Tehran. We win if we have our corners.
So making a statement like that is ignorant in the fact of we win that game, right? And I'm guilty of that. How the sentence should go is, I believe, and by the way, that's an opinion. I believe that if Tua played on Thursday night the entire game, that game ends differently. I believe that if Teddy played the entire game yesterday, the game ends differently. Do I think I believe that Teddy doesn't throw that interception where Skyler did there? Now, I still think Teddy might throw an interception during the game, but I also think he throws some touchdown passes too. And I'll say the same thing for Tua. I think that Tua, from the standpoint of we don't know the mistakes he would make, but I also think he would put us in a position to win the football game there. And that's what I believe in my heart of heart, right? Everything that I've seen, everything that I've witnessed. So I think there might be some people that really believe when they say, hey, look, I believe they would have won the game. I think that's an ignorant statement, but I'm not mad at you for saying it like that. But I do think there's probably some of the fan base that when they say that, what they really mean to say is, I believe that we would be in a different position at the end of that game and be put in a better position to possibly win that football game. That's how it should be put. So just different wording.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's all.
Last thing, real quick, and I just want to give a quick shout out in the comment section to the real Wayne D experience, saying boring triple dork. I'm not going to go back at you, man. Love you. Love prevails. So you could chirp me saying, damn, he's still going, blah, blah, blah. Love you, bro. Love you. All love.
Kill him with kindness, baby.
Steven with the SPKL. I'm not going to go back and forth.
Spread kindness, positivity, and love all day, baby. That's what I'm about.
You could say I'm boring, but Steven gives a platform to everyone, and including boring people, apparently. So, the last thing is we're back to reality.
Get him.
No matter what the circumstances were, the injuries were, we're back to reality. I feel like a Dolphins fan again. It didn't feel like a Dolphins fan when we were 3-0, I'll be honest, with the way we were winning and the people we were beating. But after a start like that, losing to the Jets, it feels like we're finally back home, back to reality, as sad as that is. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Steven.
No problem, Triple S. Appreciate you coming on. Just to reiterate to that last comment that he had, I believe that yesterday I did go revert back to some of how I usually feel as a Miami Dolphins fan, and it was tough. It was tough because oh man, I love you. I love the standpoint of whatchamacallit, what the I love what this team could do on a day in, day out basis with the potential that it has. It's not come to fruition yet, and it's still getting there. And yeah, we just got to work on it. Okay. All right. Let me go to the next person here. Let me try to bring in Sharif one more time. Sharif, are you there, buddy? Sharif? I had to try to bring you on twice, bud. All right, Solo Boy Zoe. What's up, Solo Boy Zoe? What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Man, I am just chilling and trying to take it one moment and one day and 1 minute at a time, brother.
Man, that's good. It's good, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. Like, I like what I see, man. I see good, man. I don't see where I see a lot of stuff that we failed at, and the only way anything could get good is by tearing everything down and starting all over. See, this problem right here, I already knew it was gonna present itself, but we got a fan base that they don't know nothing. They just go with the flow, they with the hype and everything. And now we just being taught a lesson, and I ain't gonna lie, it's a good lesson. And I hope if we do change management, the next management learn from this and stuff. Because if you look at what we're going through right now,
I'll do you one better.
all
I
it
hope
is
that we
history.
can learn from this. I hope that we can learn, or this current management can learn from it. That's what I hope.
We this my thing. We not gonna we ain't gonna never learn from these. The fan base not gonna never. That's why we a fan. If you look beat us with, they passed it. Players that we passed on. Like we missed, like we did so horrible on this dress. We try to hype ourselves up and say we did so good. We ain't do good. Only player I can say we really did good on was Waddle. And I ain't gonna lie to you, we almost lost him. Playing around. So it's like they drafted good. They running back. Everybody think that that's a legit running back. If you look at his numbers, like he got legit numbers. Our defense, we got a good defense. We got a good team. We played a good game. I feel like the team did what they could have did. But the problem that we had was the coach. The coach, he lost the game for us. And it's not a bad thing. He a rookie coach. He learning. And that's your learning process. I just hope next game that we play, we don't lose we don't lose at that moment. Cause we played a good game. The defense hold up, and we got Noah out there. People didn't even realize we had Noah out there balling. We had the rookie corner balling.
So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's me, because I just saw I went out for a minute. Well, stay on if y'all can hear me, because I want to show you all something real quick. Hopefully y'all don't go anywhere. Solo Boy, you can go out and come back in. I'll try to bring you on one more time. Last Friday, we had an amazing show. I want to talk about last Friday real quick, because I just got a text message and some photos that I want to share with y'all. Last Friday, we raised over $1,700 on the channel on Friday. Didn't expect to do that. Didn't expect to raise that much on the channel. We raised $1,700, and we were able to start distributing some of that. I honestly, the same day it happened, I started distributing it back out. And I was able to give a good portion of the money to our good friend Gorilla Luke. And if you didn't hear his story last week, go back and listen to it. Okay, go listen to Friday's show. Friday's show was absolutely amazing. If you guys heard it, it was great. And there's a lot of devastation on the Southwest Florida side of the state. And there's a lot of people that were affected, Gorilla Luke being one of them. His community and neighbors and friends and family, and same thing for Allie. Allie was okay with where she was at, but her community was, outside her community was completely almost destroyed. And so, we had people. I honestly didn't expect it to happen the way that it happened. As far as like how we did, I was literally like, you know what, we'll bring some people on, we'll talk about it, we'll raise a couple $100, and then as soon as we got up there, I'm like, no, let's do 1,000. Let's see if we can get to it. And we ended up getting to 1,700. And I just got a text message from Gorilla Luke. And I'm going to show you some pictures with this while I'm reading this, okay? He said, want to let you know I went down and helped Justin Finsticky on Fort Myers Beach yesterday. And we had TV set up so everyone could watch the game, and cooked for everyone, gave out donations, and I started buying stuff for single moms that lost everything last night when I got back. Good things happening thanks to everyone who donated. So these are photos of where the money, some of the money went to. And it went to a lot of these people still don't have power. Just went shopping, another family that we filled up groceries. If you'd like to donate, please message. Yeah, we can still do that if you want to do that. But man, that's awesome to get that. So shout out to Gorilla Luke. We're gonna send money out to Allie and Dolph Freaky, and she I think she flies back today, and hopefully she'll be doing stuff later this week again, and we'll see where that money goes to. But just so y'all know, like, it's so cool to see the money already being put to good use. It's a beautiful thing. I love doing the show on a day in, day out basis, and the fact what we did on Friday was so unreal and amazing. And then that we could see that is just it's really cool, man. It's really awesome. We ended up gathering up another 200, and we gave it to Allie. Yeah. So that's the other thing too. So we raised more. So I think, and it's all said that they gave. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Put it in the chat if you can hear me, because I'm not done yet. I want to finish this. Yeah, it's really awesome to see the work that we could do, and it come to fruition. But it's amazing how great this community is, and by community I mean you Dolphin fans are absolutely beautiful. So to get a text from Luke means the world to me, and it means the world to me that you guys did it, and that people were coming up to me on the show or at the live stream on Saturday night. It's still giving money to Allie, and on Sunday at the tailgate. So I think in total, between the people that came for the weekend that didn't donate because they were going to see me live and Allie live, we donated over $2,000, I guess, when it was all said and done. Between physical money that people gave at the tailgate as well as what we did online on Friday. So the fact that this community raised over $2,000 means the world to me. The world. And so I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Pete, if you're listening, bud, I'm sorry you feel that way. I just want you to know I love you. I don't ever want anybody to feel excluded or unwelcome here. I do think, for the most part, the ban is a funny thing. We try to make it a way for the channel to make money. There are times that people, you don't like certain people's takes, and it is what it is. But look, this is a show where everybody's welcome, and there are times where people just don't want to hear from you, and that's the reality of of what it is, man. So I love everybody. I'm always going to be here. I'm spread kindness, positivity, and love. And yeah, I apologize if you feel not welcome. That's not the vibe that I want to give or put out there. I understand that my platform allows for certain things to happen, but I think for the most part, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's used in the way that is correct. And I'm not going to shut anything down just because one person feels some type of way. So I love you, Pete. You're always welcome here. If you feel incorrect, if you feel differently, you can always talk about it behind closed doors. We can talk about it. But I see that you went on Twitter and blasted me, and that's fine. I just love you, man. Just know that. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. And as far as like raising money for the channel and doing whatever, let's keep doing that, man. Let's keep doing that. I want to give so much more. I think there's a lot more bigger things I want to do. So if y'all can donate more and give more to the channel, we can do more stuff like that. We can do more stuff like that. 100%. So I want to do more stuff like that. So yeah, man, donate to the channel, help it grow. Let's do more stuff like what we did on Friday. You know, that's how I feel. So you guys are awesome. Tomorrow I get to go, I gotta get out. I gotta get ready to get out of here. I gotta pack up all this stuff. I gotta pack up the I gotta be out of here within the hour. And then I get to drive all the way down to Baltimore, drop off my stuff, go do the rent a car, then take an Uber back. I'm probably not going to be in my house till like probably 6 o'clock tonight, maybe 7. So, I love you. So, if you guys want to hit me up on Twitter at StephenDSKPL, spread kindness, positivity, and love. Just so you know, we are 500 subscribers away from 10,000. Can we get to 10,000 in the next 2 weeks? Can we get 500 new subscribers in the next 2 weeks? Can you guys help me with that? Can you guys help me out with that? Okay. I would appreciate that. That'd be awesome. So maybe the housekeeping was trying to come in, I think. Yeah, so I love you guys. You guys are the best. I will see you all tomorrow. I'll be at my house finally. Only I just realized I got to fly back out Thursday to Florida. So I'm pretty much going out and coming in and coming right back out. So yeah, man, Sharker Sean, we got to 9,500 subscribers. So we're 500 subscribers away. I got an extra 100, 80 over the weekend maybe. So I love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow right here on the #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. I'm going to play this for everybody. At least I wanted to. Where's it at? Little tour time for y'all. Peace. Donate to the channel. We're at $83 today. Can we get to 125? Let's see if we can do it during the song. Donate while the song's going on. I'll show your tweets and your chats and everything. Let's go. Peace. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time. Time to grab, time to shine. To a time. To a time. Time to grab, time to shine. To a time. My intuition told me this. To trust the coach, he holds the gift. He knowing when to go with fits. So we knowing when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house. We been waiting, yeah, we been patient. Now it's time to cash out, no discount. Super Bowl, yeah, we in route. I don't know when, but it's close. I don't want to overhype, but I just know I like it. So excited, league gon' notice now. You should notarize it. They say tour from that rock. Shout out to Samoa and Islands. Time to lay the smack down. You think he Dwayne Johnson. Time to be the people's champ. Hit him with the people's elbows. Stick together like it's Velcro. You think you could stop us? Hell no, all day I dream about sports. I think I need some chateau custom with some Dolphins colors. Just to let them know we here. Yeah.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Vince for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
To a time, to a time. Really hope he the man. Hope we found us a gem. Like the Heat found Bam. Wanna take time to thank Fitz, cause he put on the show. But the young man up, in the whole city know. Time to catch all the blessings. Cash out on the investment. Ball out, don't choke. Fins want all the smoke. Chris Gregg gave hope. Coach flow like spoke. Dan Marino still a GOAT, but to a man on go. Watch to a man throw. Watch to a man scope. Watch to a man issues that we never ever seen before. Fins up, let's win. Boy, I'm ready for a ring. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. It's damn week, use 10.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Vince for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
So low, so low, so low deep. So low, so low, so low deep. So low, so low, so low deep.
Time to cook. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Fresh up off the wind, we was down but made it back. Purple smoke up in the air, that's that Raven pack. We was mad, disappointed in the first half. Came back and cleaned them up, that's the bird bath. Moving on now, team feeling strong now. To a time the anthem, we're about to learn the song now. We got cheater, defense beater. Slow them down, ain't got a chance. 17 through the scene, hit them with that water dance. Anyway, defense straight, got our stock piling. We gon' dig a big hole for him and Josh Allen. We'll celebrate this week, but Sunday we are not smiling. Get your grills and make them hot. Flame them like that yellow light. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo.
Hey, man, McDaniels, he's going to need a wheelbarrow, man, for his nuts to carry around, man. He got a lot of cocoa on this, you know what I'm saying?